especially for the fellas out there, so be aware of that.
Thanks, Dipper, and Carey is on Lucas early.
And Lucas will probably march him deep into defence too. I think they want Carey away from the centre-half back.
McKernan went very, very early. Alessio gets a kick, goes the wrong way. Mercedes, you can see, as Dipper said, muddy and a bit icy there in the middle, and Calthorpe the first kick and kicks it to half forward. So the Bombers in attack early. Mickey Martin very careful not to give a free kick away. He's on Carousella. That's an interesting one as well. Calthorpe out of play.
And Archer has gone to Matthew Lloyd. As we see Calthorpe just holding his arm after that collision. Looks to be a little bit of pain after hitting the fence. And he's actually going to Anthony Stevens. So a couple of interesting matchups out there at the moment.
Lloyd and Lucas in their 50th and King in his 100th tonight. So the two Bomber kids playing their 50th together.
Talk about interesting matchups. Martin Pike has actually picked up Mark Mercury, and Pickett is on Darren Buick.
Wellman at the moment on his own, and Long also on his own for the Bombers. Now King going there, and Archer may be coming back for Lloyd. So a bit of toing and froing. Alessio, Stevens, ricocheted out of his hands. Olorenshaw tried to force his way through. Mercury quickly tackled, and it'll be a bounce down about 55 metres from the Bombers' goal.
The North bench, Bruce, are very nervous about Mickey Martin. Keep an eye on him. Obviously, he's been out the last 2 weeks, and very cold conditions down here regarding his hamstring.
Hey, Dipper, I like the way Steve Alessio confronted him there in the opening minutes of the game. Put a bit of pressure on Mickey Martin, and it's been mentioned that he might be a little worried in the cool evening here at the MCG about that hamstring.
Corey McKernan has gone forward, and Dustin Fletcher has picked him up.
Very important that both these clubs now, Steve Alessio is going to get a free kick. There's a little bit ticky-touch with Johnny.
Yeah, the signal given is for a push, Robbo.
Well, a quick kick into the forward. Oh, you're off. You are definitely off, Mark Mercury. And now he's being penalised. Is the advantage with North? There was no advantage. Well, a couple of early errors, maybe the pressure on the umpires too. Calthorpe, Alessio, wider still to Buick. Buick from deep at half forward. Kicks the ball to the front of the goals, and Carey should be paid the mark, and is.
Just on that advantage call, Robbo, if the player with the advantage is able to dispose of the ball, that's the holding the ball or...
Well, that's an indication, isn't it, Tim, of the intensity early mistake?
Well, you hardly ever see a mistake like that from an experienced player like Wayne Carey. Perhaps the pressure got to him, perhaps it's a greasy ball. He just miscued with the kick, but now it's in the hands of Scotty Lucas, his opponent, who's going to line up for a goal.
Timmy, just regarding the ball, the ground is very wet down here, and obviously with the yellow ball becomes very greasy early in the game.
Well, we've seen this boy kick the ball long distances, and this is a swinging kick. Has it been touched? I don't think it's been touched. I'd suggest it's a goal. First goal of the game to the Bombers, kicked by Scott Lucas.
Carey would be disappointed with that performance, because it was his error that led to the ball actually landing back in the hands of Scotty Lucas. Just watch this kick, just wobbles off the boot. Just watch this. Mickey Martin goes high, but it just carries over his head, and that's Scotty Lucas's 31st goal for the year, and he has been a terrific player across half forward.
Strange old start, isn't it? That swinging kick going through from Lucas. McKernan over the top of Alessio. King, and still King. Now gets a handball out. Stevens was able to push forward. Harvey, still with Harvey, and Harvey kicks a goal. What about that for a replay? He was one of the untouchables for a moment there. Long upset about something, but Harvey, nobody could lay a tackle on him.
Well, the players just peeled off, just conscious of their own man. As we said, Gary Moorcroft, he's a player that has a job on Harvey. There's Grant, and he is in fact lined up against Sean Wellman. Now, that's a definite mismatch, and I guess it's going to depend on whether or not we see Grant getting the ball at ground level, whether or not Kevin Sheedy will have to make a change there. Went to give the handball, wasn't tackled, no pressure on him, and then had the presence of mind just to steady himself. And he's been a good goal kicker. That's his 19th for the season, so he's been handy up forward.
So a goal apiece. McKernan and Alessio. The ball comes back towards Mercedes. He gathers, then gives the hand pass back to Olorenshaw. He steadies, forced to kick with the right. Ball will drop short. Well done. Getting back is Peter Bell. and marking safely on his chest between right half-back and right centre wing. His kick transfers the ball nearly to half-forward. The free kick.
Firm contact to the front of King.
Running straight at the player.
Running straight at the player, waiting for the marking contest and a free kick.
And Wayne Carey just charging forward, and what he's done is drawn Scotty Lucas now into defence.
So the kick by David King to centre half forward. Good mark. Well done, Alessio. Getting back to help the defenders out. The hand pass to Lucas. Lucas, wider still. Olorenshaw has the football. He's going to kick to a vacant wing area. It bounces in front. Solomon grabs the footy. He's been well tackled. The ball spills over for a boundary throw in. The tackle applied by the young man that Bruce was talking about early, Shannon Watt. And an expected minimum of 4 degrees. It's well, it's not a bad night for winter here in Melbourne. Quite mild. Darren Buick tries to kick it off the ground. Pickett knocks it clear. Blumfield to Mercury. Wider still, Moorcroft. He likes that left foot. Then he gives the hand pass away. Solomon back to Moorcroft. Not much space. Quickly gets rid of the football. Back to Caracella. Little left footer. Good. Pickett heavily into the back there of his opponent. The ball spills wider now for Mercury. He's confronted by Shannon Grant. The boys are pumped. The boys are pumped. Mercury, down he goes. Good tackle by Grant. Pike to gather the crumbs. Around onto the right foot. He kicks wide and it bounces ordinarily over for a boundary throw.
Terrific pressure there by Shannon Grant. He had to commit himself. He did. He took Mercury out, and then he was strong enough to just hit the deck and knock the ball out wide again, which enabled Pike to run over the top of the ball. He really should have taken that. But already we see there's a lot of feeling, a lot of intensity at ground level in this game.
Blakey at the back. High ball. Fletcher getting underneath it. Well done, Harvey, the smaller player, and belts it over the line. The goal of the piece. Gee, Grant was good a moment ago. Here's Wellman and Grant after that bit of play. Kernan, Alessio getting over the top. Hardwick, free kick over the shoulder.
No, it bounced, Bruce.
Is it? Thanks, John. So bounce between half-back and centre wing. So McKernan and Alessio to go here. Expect both of them to be amongst the goal kickers at the end of the night. Abraham's kick just inside 50. Well done, Moorcroft. Handball on the up by McCartney was good. King from 50. And it's a behind. So North 1-1. And the Bombers are going.
It's a good move if you can actually get King into the midfield, isn't it? Because he has his pace at half-back. He breaks up the play beautifully from there and actually kicks the ball generally to centre-half forward. But if you can afford to move him up the ground a bit so he's playing across the wing and his kicks are actually going to be scoring shots.
Well, Fletcher to himself, he's got a big area in front of the defensive square to run into, then kicks it very wide. Lloyd can't do much with that footy.
Interesting play there on the kick-out too, Robbo. Essendon electing to go man-on-man, and they're not having anyone in that first 30 metres of the ground, so Fletcher just kicking the ball to him, but really having nowhere to go. Nobody was free after that kick.
Well, the boundary throw-in being contested by two of the mid-sized players, Olorenshaw and Blakey. Look at King, his pace. He couldn't quite get away from Hardwick, and then the kick dropped short and was well taken by Fletcher. Handball away to Wellman. Wellman can transfer play. Well, he doesn't go wide. He goes straight up the ground. Alessio to Long out wide. Perhaps not as good a kick as he would have liked, Michael Long. The ball rebounds back to McCartney. He received from Carey and then gave it back to Carey. His kick towards half forward, taken by Wellman for the safety of the line. Corey McKernan starting in the centre bounce up against Steve Alessio. And I guarantee you he's having a go at one of your mates, Johnny, that bloke on screen there. What are you doing, you bug umpire? In the first quarter, North Melbourne lead by a point. The ball nearly to centre-half forward. Mercedes' handball was pretty good for Barnard. Barnard out wide. That's a good kick. Sets it up for Olorenshaw. He's on his right side. Does it reasonably well. Out in front there was Lloyd. Couldn't take the mark. Archer, well done. The defensive work by Glenn Archer was 10 out of 10. He knocked it clear for a boundary throw-in. Terrific crowd here at the MCG. Essendon, if they can win this game, will go over the top of North Melbourne on the ladder. And North Melbourne striving as hard as they can to retain their place in the 8. Blakey to the front of the pack. Buick has the football. He kicks it short. Archer's a chance.
At half-back, under great pressure, he could be gone here. No, it's going to be a ball up.
I think David King's playing on the wing on Michael Long. So a great match up there, two speedsters, and as you mentioned, both got beautiful kicks.
Well, King's already had 4 touches in the early part of this game, and his running has been damaging through the midfield, so Michael Long will have to tighten up on him.
Blake, he did it pretty well, then had to handle under pressure. Buick had to keep his eyes on it. McCurry was good. Mercedes round the body, kicks it inside 50. North have got numbers. Archer, good mark.
That's brilliant, isn't it?
Oh, the Bombers came in at the end. I like the North numbers early, and then Essendon started to come in, but Archer just had to keep his eye on it. And typical Glenn Archer. Has there been a more robust, courageous player in the game? Stevens' kick. Long. Bell. Breaking the tackle. King has been sensational early. A wobbly one. Wellman's going to have to run it back. Wellman's got it. He hasn't got a handle on it. He concedes it behind in the end. So North get their second point. It's 1-2 to a goal. The goal scorers, Lucas got the first as Kevin Sheedy in his 413th or 14th match for Essendon as coach. Harvey got the first goal for North after Lucas's goal. Barnard's got it. Little short one to half-back. Lloyd might have gone out. It did. Boundary throw in between half-back and centre wing. Dennis Pagan, who, like Kevin Sheedy, can boast one of the best records in football. Goes at around about 63% of winning games as coach.
Well, one of them's going to go down in their percentage, aren't they, Bruce, after this game? Roberts' kick towards the full forward area, taken by Fletcher. He just pummels it back towards the wing, but there to take a safe mark is Archer. 8 plays 6. Archer quickly with the left foot. That's a free kick, isn't it?
Paid the mark, actually.
To Anthony Stevens, quickly onto his right boot. Kicks towards full forward. The ball spills close to the line. Gary Moorcroft and Winston Abraham. And Moorcroft just a little disappointingly there. I think he may have thought there could have been a free kick there, but the boundary umpire will throw it in. It's only a matter of 15 metres around from the North Melbourne goal, and you can see there it has been very tight. These contests between the Bombers and the Kangaroos. Fletcher quickly kicks it wide. It bounces end on end and favours. Good play in the finish. Caracella not quite able to control it, but geez, dragged Mickey Martin a long way down the ground. Handball, Berbakoff. Berbakoff, the little kick, very good. On the chest of Mercury. So they worked hard, the young Bombers, down in front here. Short kick again, Caracella. Now Caracella is manning up on Mickey Martin.
Well, Mickey Martin's actually manning up on Caracella, playing as a full forward, a decoy full forward. He dragged Mickey Martin right up the ground. Mickey Martin went right up the ground. In fact, Caracella moved right up the ground on this side of the ground, and then he knew that on the way back he would sprint and perhaps expose Mickey for pace, but it was really Mickey's error a moment ago when he had the ball. Should have given the first one to Wayne Carey.
So the Bombers a chance to get their second goal. Scott Lucas kicked their first goal. This is young Blake Caracella from only about 30 to 35 metres. Difficult angle, but he just makes an absolute certainty of it. Second goal to the Bombers, kicked by Blake Caracella.
And Mickey Martin would be disappointed with his effort on that occasion because he picked up the ball about centre wing. Wayne Carey was in the right position. He chose not to handball to him, went back inside, and that's when the error occurred. The turnover was created, and then Mickey just didn't have the legs to go with Caracella, who just rushed into the forward line and was a spare man.
Bombers with a narrow lead. Caracella getting the second goal for them tonight. McKernan again early, but again Alessio. Buick, Cowthorpe, Roberts holds him up cleverly. Bell back in trouble, Grant. Hands were quick enough. Bell's hands were terrific to Archer. Archer to half forward. Fletcher there with Hewitt and also McCartney. So it's an unusual looking North Melbourne set up forward early in this match. And you'd reckon there'll be a swing or two before the end of, if not this quarter, the first half. Carey still at centre half back on Lucas. So North at about 50. There's the interchange group. Chandler was there with Welsh. Hewitt's got it. Handball back to Pike. Pike can kick a goal. misses. Remember at Melbourne where he kicked in the final series late, he had a big run with goals, didn't he, Martin Pike? And look at this huddle in the centre and the short kick coming out to Alessio. So it's an unusual start to this game, and the way the two coaches have gone about it, they're really testing each other out here, trying all sorts of tricks, as you'd expect when Kevin Sheedy and Dennis Pagan get it together, so to speak. Barnard building the ball over the line. So the Bombers are a couple of goals and North are 1-3.
So the boundary throw in on centre wing, Barnard and Roberts to confront each other. Olorenshaw and Blakey. The ball spills to the back. Solomon not able to control. Barnard does reasonably well. Kicks it clear of the congestion. Calthorpe quickly on. Gets it nearly up to his forward 50. Carey knocked away in the finish by Olorenshaw. Solomon in the middle of the action. Carey, gee whiz, there's some real sight going on out there between the players. And Wayne Carey says to Scott Lucas, oh, well, you wonder, don't you? Boundary throw in right half forward, favouring Essendon. They knock it into their forward 50. Abraham's caught. Ball spills now for Bell. Bell, left foot, close to the boundary line, kicks it quite long. Knocked away by Wellman for a throw-in.
Wayne Carey, who's not adverse to verbalising his opponent at different time, probably just looking for a weakness there with Scotty Lucas, but he's done pretty well for a young fella, Scotty Lucas. Just 50 games, and North applying a lot of tackles in the early part of this game.
Olorenshaw to Buick. High by Darren Buick into the pocket. Awkward bouncing ball. Pickett prepared to allow the ball to bounce over for a throw-in. It's within goal-scoring distance for Essendon. There's a look at a terrific crowd, as I said earlier. Friday night football really has been sensational this year. Inside 50, North Melbourne 10 to Essendon 6. The kick goes out wide. Lloyd is marked. Anthony Stevens to mind that mark, diligently so. Lloyd now prepared to swing onto his left. Kicks in towards centre half forward, knocked away by Martin. Ball spills for Long. Get a quick kick, he does. No, it's smothered off the boot. The rebound now back towards the North Melbourne half forward line. Fletcher's been pretty good. He's had 4 or 5 possessions after coming back through injury. He puts this on the chest of Wellman. Wellman hooks the kick towards centre half forward. Blakey stands his ground, and it was a clean mark to John Blakey.
Quickly away, kicks the ball into the centre. Beautiful take there by McCartney to Shannon Grant. Grant's kick gives McKernan every possible chance and kicks the goal. Wonderful play in the centre by North Melbourne to set that up. It was clean in the end, and it was a good kick by Grant to the right spot.
Well, McKernan's been starting in the ruck, and then he's been going forward, being picked up by Fletcher. Then Hewitt is going into the ruck to contest it against Alessio. All the players moved up the ground, so there's a big space. It was just a one-on-one contest, and I think in most cases you'd favour Corey McKernan in that instance.
Well, Corey McKernan nearly put that ball on the Coca-Cola sign here at the MCG, right up the top of the Western stand next to the big scoreboard. He really emphatically booted that through for North Melbourne's second goal. They lead by 3 points. Now to contest the centre bounce, but beaten for it on this occasion by Alessio. Beautifully taken by Buick. Buick straight towards goal. It's a good kick. Equally as good as Grant's. Now the race is on. Carousella, Lloyd, back to Carousella. Snapshot needed. He gets it over his left shoulder, into the pocket. Blumfield and Pickett. Pickett, is that a throw, John?
Pickett's been paid a free kick for holding the man, Robbo. Actually dragged away from the ball.
How did he get rid of the ball?
Well, he never took possession, Robbo. He's being dragged now and certainly making sure that the umpire sees it. There probably wasn't a lot in it, but the reaction by Pickett was very, very obvious.
Gee, that was clever stuff by Mercury. Very, very close to ground level. He was able to just get his hands underneath it. He's been paid the mark. You can see that he's about 55 to 60 metres from goal. He probably will have to go off the ground because that looked like blood coming from his right eye. Mickey Martin marks the short kick. Goes very short. Hewitt has the football. He's at left half back. Mercury being attended to by trainers. The kick wide. There's Mercury now. Alessio away to Berbakoff. Berbakoff, a high ball to the forward 50. Lloyd from behind, but a good mark. Not paid to Hewitt. Now gathered by Abraham. Runs away. Well done, Lucas. Desperate stuff. And may force a turnover. It's in the middle of the ground. King, Solomon, top stuff by both players there. The ball spills for Michael Long. The Bombers supporters will love this. He gets it to Moorcroft. Moorcroft straightens up. Moorcroft, lovely long goal. Kicked by Gary Moorcroft. Sensational football by the Bombers.
Yes, but if you just rewind it a bit, if Anthony Stevens wasn't taken high in the centre of the ground, then I'm not sitting here at the MCG tonight watching this game. He's now in the hands of the trainers. He put his head down. He's got the touch of the Boris Yeltsins at the moment. He just doesn't know where he is. Look at that, Solomon just cannoning straight into him. Now you wonder how that could possibly be missed when it's right there in front of the umpire.
Yeah, you're certainly right, Tim. I mean, if the player's head's down, as Anthony Stevens was, and Dean Solomon just runs into his head, as he did, then that is certainly a free kick for high contact.
You've got to protect the player who's got his head in over the ball. He's had a history of concussions, this bloke. Knees right into the head. And we did see Stevens wearing a helmet there for a while too. We see Welsh coming onto the ground to replace him. But that is a critical mistake then by the umpires. The turnover, it's a goal, as we see the blood rule here being applied to, with Mark Mercury leaving the ground.
Well, he's an important player, Anthony Stevens, in the North Melbourne makeup, and he's been a contributor so far in this game. He's had 4 or 5 important touches. So a bad loss temporarily. Let's hope it's only temporary for North Melbourne.
Just see how Essendon reshuffle the side. Heffernan's coming onto the ground. He was taken early in the draft a couple of years ago. Big raps on this kid. He's played a lot of reserve grade footballs. You see there Anthony Stevens now seems to have cleared his head there. Harry Unglick, the North Melbourne doctor, just having a couple of words to him, perhaps asking him if he knows where he is, what time it is, what the score is. And if he gets all those questions right, he'll come back onto the ground.
Scott with the handball. 2-3 to 3 goals, so the Bombers have been accurate here. It's a big finish by Moorcroft after Stevens looked terribly unlucky. Desperately unlucky not to be paid. King getting plenty of it. Buick cut off by Pike. Pike's little kick back into the centre. It is a bit gluey there. Hardwick did that beautifully. Back turns, kicks to space. Lloyd and Calthorpe have got numbers. Lloyd, well done Archer. Lloyd over the top. Archer was magnificent. Played it to Harvey. Harvey on to Grant. Grant's a good finisher. 60 out. Low going. Moorcroft, well done. It's through from behind. How good was Archer at half-back then?
He has been brilliant again tonight. We sing this guy's praises week in, week out. But just watch this again. Put the pressure on Lloyd, then went to the ground and then just cannoned the ball forward. And that's what set up that attacking move for North Melbourne.
Alessio wide. Wellman there. Good fly from the side, though, by the Kangaroos to cut that one off. That came from Welsh. Grant held up off the ground by Buick, was okay. Heffernan has come on the ground, clever to Long. Long's kick's a pretty good one. Carousel and Martin. Pickett, still with Pickett on the up, okay. Gets it to the King. Carey out wide, waits it well to Bell. Bell's away, North Melbourne from half-back.
And a good kick there by Peter Bell too to set it up for John Blakey. Shepherd provided by Bell. Blakey running nearly to the middle of the ground. He's had 3 bounces. Gets past his opponent. And then kicks short, well set up. Mark taken by Harvey, not paid. Must have touched the ground. There's kicking in danger. And Essendon will take the free kick. Damien Hardwick, handball away. Buick started very well. Buick's kick wide. Wellman has the football. Buick 7 possessions. Wellman at right half-back. Goes short. Archer again. And it got up. His second effort was sensational. Shannon Grant's kick towards half-forward, nearly taken by McKernan. By gee, they're men on a mission, aren't they? The whole lot of them out there, they're all having a bit of a dip at it.
Wayne Carey's gone forward now, Robbo, and McCartney's gone to centre half-back, but Mickey Martin is doing a wonderful job back there in the man-on-man contest. So too is Glenn Archer. Just watch this kicking in danger again there by John Blakey. Knew that he messed it up by going to the 50-50. The ball didn't carry. Had to get there, had to do something. In the end, he infringed.
Berbakoff to Fletcher, just controlled it. Fletcher to the boundary line. Kick to touch, so to speak. Found it out of play.
Bruce, the good news for North Melbourne, and also Anthony Stevens is back on the ground, and he's smiling again. goodness.
And we could see Mark Mercury with a heavy bandage around his forehead dipper, so he's no doubt able to come back too shortly. So thanks for that, Alessio and McKernan. Abraham, not bad. King's had a wonderful opening term. Delivers to full forward. Carey against Wellman. Here's a goal for Harvey, his second. Kicked 5 against Port one night, didn't he? In a blitz early. He's a handy little goal scorer, this fellow. He's kicked 20 for the season and 2 in the first quarter, and North leads by 4 points. 3-4 to 3 goals. Carey's body work was good, Tim.
Yeah, good knock away there by Bruce and Abraham too, just over the top there to David King. The ball just going forward. The North forwards have been moving up the ground, so there's a vacuum of space created behind them, and that's where the ball has been directed on a number of occasions.
So North Melbourne with 7 scoring shots, lead by 4 points. Alessio gets first hand to it. Stevens back onto the ground. Went low again, got the handball away, but chopped off by Michael Long. And just an average kick by Michael Long standards. Puts it on the chest of Glenn Archer at centre half back. Archer out wide. Marking contest, the ball spills to the back. McKernan bounces kindly for the big tall player. Handball over the top, the race on between Abraham and Olorenshaw. Olorenshaw gathers, Blumfield fumbles, Hardwick dispossessed, Harvey again in the middle of the action, wide to Stevens, has recovered, kicks a goal! Goal of the night so far to Anthony Stevens. Just a great kick when you consider that he was off the ground about 5 or 6 minutes ago with what looked a little bit of concussion. What a recovery.
And it was just that fumble there by Blumfield that caused the damage. The ball was a 50-50 again at wing position, and North Melbourne certainly had the numbers. But if we go back into defence, once again it was Glenn Archer that cut that forward thrust off, and he has been in magnificent touch in the early part of this game, almost unplayable across half-back, and certainly causing Matthew Lloyd some problems, who's still trying to get into the game at half-forward.
4-4 to 3 goals. Alessio out of the centre, so North has kicked a couple in a hurry to get the initiative here. Pike almost handed it over to Scott. Scott bangs a left footer. Carey sets himself against a couple. Well done, Wellman. Under pressure though, worried out of it by Grant. Ball rolling and rolling. Fletcher to get back. Fletcher to just deliver. That's well played to Moorcroft in the back pocket. So it's 26 to 18 here. 28 to 18, I should say. 4-4 to 3 goals. Moorcroft short to Hardwick. Both these teams have been good starting sides this year. They've both won 8 out of the 13 first quarters they've played, so no surprise they've come out here at a cracking pace. Olorenshaw got it from Masudi, kicked the ball wide. Barnard, not really that great a play, but he gets it back. The handball inboard to Cowthorpe. Loves this situation. The bounce, can't really balance up, slews off the side. Martin will be very happy to see it roll out of play, and it does, and it'll be a boundary throw-in.
Which I thought Barnard was quite clever, because I don't think he was ever going to get to it, and he realised that he just stuck his foot there and blocked it.
Yeah, I thought the problem with tonight was with the slider in the centre. The ball might have just run right away from him, but it turned out all right for him. So 28 to 18 here, 10-point margin. Roberts, Barnard brought it to the front of the square. Martin under pressure, keeps his head down. Buick, beautifully done. Trademark Buick goal. Big posses for Buick early. He's kicked a few of those in his career, Tim, from similar situations, and the Bombers bounce back.
He's a dangerous man around goals. We just watched this set position again. It's Roberts against, and that's the ball that should have been taken there by Mickey Martin. That's where they got themselves into trouble, and Buick just pouncing on the ball. But just before that ball arrived, they went for a mismatch. Blumford went to the 10-metre square and took Bell back with him for that quick kick, just hoping that he'd be able to get him in the air.
So back in the centre, Darren Buick looks as though he's taken a bit of responsibility on his shoulders, with James Hurd not playing, and he and Michael Long in the middle of the ground. Blumfield, handball chopped off by Scott. Scott's kick goes back towards half forward for North Melbourne. Hand pass, King, too high, was it?
Been paid by the umpire in the end zone, Robbo, yeah. Not by the umpire in control at the time.
Well, a free kick to David King. He kicks it high into the forward pocket area. Knocked away by Moorcroft.
Free kick against Shannon Grant for an unrealistic attempt to mark. He just climbed all over the top of either Moorcroft or Calthorpe. Oh, no. Yeah, there it is there, just climbing all over the top of Wellman.
You'd like decisions to be that clear-cut, wouldn't you, John?
Yeah, it wasn't a difficult one.
Berbatov takes the football away and does well. Kicks it wide to Blumfield. He gets around his opponent, back onto his right foot, kicks the ball in towards centre-half forward. Lucas does well to force the contest. Ball spills for Roberts, tackled by Heffernan. Blakey quickly onto the left, into the middle of the ground. Now the contest is red hot. Scott gets it, but Fletcher intercepting beautifully. Dustin Fletcher down the ground towards full forward. Lloyd punched away by Archer. Pickett tries to... He should be penalised. He's confronted two players and he was well tackled in the finish. But Archer gets the ball away. Intelligently short to Stevens, and the Kangaroos can breathe a little easier now. The football with David King.
Just how good is Archer? I mean, he's played an unbelievable quarter of footy. King's been good too. Kicks the ball to centre half forward. Carey, not paid, play on, good hands. Abraham, big high kick. North have got a great chance. Harvey's going to kick his third. Doesn't go on. Decides to come back. How good was Archer? And half-back again there.
Well, I'm just about sick of talking about him in this first quarter. He has been simply brilliant. But once again, North Melbourne forwards leading right up the ground. That space, that vacuum of space behind them, there was nobody within 35 metres of goal where that kick was taken. And the North players knew that that's where they were running to. Bell was there, so too was this bloke Harvey, who now has his opportunity to kick his third goal for this first term.
It'll be a big first quarter for him personally, and a good one for North. Shouldn't miss. He's got it. 3 for Harvey. 5 for the Kangaroos. What a cracking opening term. Darren Buick, who's not the captain tonight, talking to the umpire there, maybe just having a bit of a blue. But at quarter time, after a fantastic opening term, it's 5-4 to 4 goals. Who put them in, etc. We're about to start the second quarter here on Friday Night Football. We'll get down to Dipper in a moment for the interchange to tell us who's where and what. Stevens' little kick didn't go far. Hardwick, there's the margin, 34 to 24 on the top left-hand screen. Barnard, nice mark. Has Calthorpe running and is going to use him now. Can Archer get in? No. Calthorpe could almost have gone on, but Lloyd was clear, but decided not to. Now, this will test Calthorpe. On the run, you'd say big chance, but this will stretch him. He's going to kick from about 47. So accurate tonight, the Bombers. 4 straight. He's kicked 7 goals this season, and he got them in 4 weeks where he kicked 3 2s and a 1 going into last week. He's kicked that right there, and it was touched on the line for a behind. So 34 to 24. Accurate kick by Calthorpe. Dipper, what about the interchange setup?
It's one of Essendon's main playmakers. Mark McHugh is still on the bench with Lalage and Bomford and Eastall. And for North Melbourne, we have Chandler, Welsh, Simpson and Corcoran, sorry.
No, that's all right, Dip.
Just a big cello down here.
34 to 25.
Well, Dennis hasn't used that interchange apart from, I think, when Stevens went off the ground for that rather ordinary clash in the middle of the ground. Peter Bell marks the kick in, gets it away to Anthony Stevens, who quickly moves the ball on to centre half forward. The captain couldn't take the mark. Wellman does well. Recovery pretty good. Get the ball to Mercedes and turn to Waller Renshaw. He has a good look and then kicks it with penetration, but straight to the opposition, and Mickey Martin marks safely in front of his eyes. Short kick taken by McCartney, looking to play on to Roberts. Roberts out very wide, player on his own. McKernan's got 15 metres. Handball in towards the middle of the ground. King onto Bell. Bell hooks the ball in towards centre half forward. Carey underneath it. The ball spills to Hardwick at the front of the pack. Mercedes back to Fletcher. Fletcher out wide. The Bombers have got a chance to go forward here. Carousella, has he got anyone to kick to? In towards the middle, and Calthorpe has marked. Looks to play on, does just that. Kicks it out wide. Excellent attempt by Solomon. Didn't take the mark. Shannon Watt does well. Mickey Martin just plays the percentages, hacks it out of mid-air, but it finds Calthorpe. Calthorpe, very ordinary kick. Fortunately, Carousella makes it good. Back to Calthorpe. Calthorpe into the pocket. Mark is taken here by Lucas. He's probably a kick and a third from goal. Goes short. Is the kick all right? Yes, because it was made good by young Heffernan. He had to make a yard. to take that cleanly in front of his face, and he'll shoot from about 47, 48 metres. First goal of the second quarter, maybe. Chris Heffernan with the football. Kicks the ball fairly long, right on the goal line. It's taken there by Archer, and they're that lousy they won't even give away a rush behind the Kangaroos. Out wide, knocked away by Watt. Ball spills for Heffernan, to Solomon, keeps it in play, spills back to Calthorpe, back around onto his right foot. Calthorpe in short, what's happening there? Free kick.
Free kick to David King for being hit high by, I think it was Chris Heffernan. We may see it again, but certainly the Shepherder was the one that was hurt or hit.
So King and half back had a lot of the ball in the first quarter. Not a good kick. Calthorpe's onto it. And Calthorpe's had a little run here too, hasn't he, where he's touched it a number of times. Inboard to Moorcroft. Feisty little play. He had a huge job on Matera for much of last week. Still managed to kick a couple himself. Sets it up nicely for Alessio. Martin bravely in the front spot. Archer, what a player. Quick kick away by McCartney. Effective to the man who kicked 3 in the opening term, Harvey. Harvey has King running for him. He'll bang it long to Hewitt. Hewitt got himself set here. Oh, well done, Fletcher. Huge stretch. Scott, Hardwick held him up. Good footy all round. Well played, the defensive action by the Bombers. Firstly Fletcher, and then Hardwick was first class here.
It was just the go-go gadget extender arm on that occasion that stopped the ball going over the top. But you can always be assured that there's going to be North Melbourne players who work to get to the front of that contest, and they're just a little bit unlucky not to get free on that occasion.
So the bounce 20 metres out. Carey with him, Wellman off the ground by Moorcroft. Gets it to about 40 metres away. Head down there by Blumfield. Taken by Stevens. He tries to get away. He does. Handball back okay. Robbins, not a good kick. Calthorpe hard at it. He's had a big opening to this quarter. Pike's got him. Held him up. Play on called. Lucas round the body. Beautiful kick. Gets Barnard.
Well, they've got a chance to break away here. Barnard's handball into the path of Heffernan. Heffernan's kick towards centre foot. Well done, Pickett. He was going into uncharted territories and he had his eye right on the football. Out wide. Shannon Grant, a good gather. Back onto his left side. He's kick into the middle. Pickett's run down after kicking the ball out wide and receives in the middle. Kicks it further forward. McCartney. Go for goal, Jason. Long, high, bomb, goal. Well, I don't think he would have kicked too many goals this year. Jason McCartney, just his first goal for the season and North Melbourne's 6th for this match.
Really, it was set up by Pickett though, wasn't he? Chopped the first one off across half-back. He got back up the ground. It was the second kick. Looked up, saw McCartney all on his own. He drifted down from half-back and he was, well, he came into the game as a forward and he finished well.
So North Melbourne out to a 15-point advantage. 10 scoring shots to 5. McKernan. Ball comes down to Robert Scott. Doesn't get away from Damien Hardwick. Got his left foot to it. Well marked by Carey. He's going to have a telling influence. You can see it. He kicks in towards Abraham. And he's marked Michael Long just a little late on the scene. And Abraham to shoot for North Melbourne's 7th goal.
Well, they're just getting a little bit of a run on here, North Melbourne, getting the ball out of the centre. And that's what you have to stop when you play North Melbourne, because they are a side, they attack the front of the goal mouth. And if they score, if they set those scoring opportunities up, they can score extremely quickly. And before you know it, they've put a 4 or 5 goal break in the game.
Bomford onto the ground at the expense of Buick. Buick had a terrific first quarter, 8 possessions. Abraham shot for goal is a goal. Abraham gets his first goal early in the second quarter. Plenty more maybe to come from him. And plenty more from North Melbourne. They lead by 21 points.
That's his 24th goal for the year, Abraham. But I was just watching him at training the other night kick, and he has the most effortless style. He is just a beautiful kick. He was around 50 metres the other night at training, taking 1-2 steps, and they were drilled right through the goals. A wonderful shot at goal.
7-4 to 4-1. So North getting away a little here. They're 3.5 in front. The Bombers through Calthorpe. Calthorpe again to Fletcher. Fletcher has Mercedes very short. Kicks the ball further down to Barnard. Buick's come off the ground and Bomford on in the last minute or so. Barnard's mark about 80 metres from goal. Running for him now, Bomford. He'll probably go to him. He does. Bomford's God, no, didn't get it. Has to get back quickly. Bad mistake, really. The kick wasn't all that good, and North are going to get away with this. Archer. Archer's little one is good. Finds Simpson on the up to Stevens. He's made a terrific recovery after being really hit hard in the first quarter. Kicks to half forward. Harvey. Fletcher going back, rather Shannon Grant. Ola Renshaw did it reasonably well. Calthorpe under the pump though. North have got a chance here. Quick hands by Harvey to Bell. Belts it back towards Grant. Grant getting set. Front spot there was Berbakoff. Ola Renshaw to the line and finds a boundary throw in.
There's a poor kick then by Ricky back inside in a dangerous situation. We see Hewitt going to the bench there, but good play by Ola Renshaw just to get back there. Felt the heat of the North Melbourne player and just played the percentage, went to the boundary line.
Plenty of spaces here around the ground. Players congregated. Shannon Grant, that's a goal. A clever goal. Well, he's been so active this season, and that one was really smart. He's hurt himself too by the look of it.
Appears to have been feeling there for his knee in the hands of the trainers. Just watch this throw in again. It was Corey McKernan who contested against Alessio. Just got the knock to the front where they'd left a bit of space there, North Melbourne, so they could run into it. And then that was just clever play off the ground there by Grant, who's still in the hands of the trainers. And there's the doctor coming out to him now.
So there's Shannon Grant after kicking the goal. Just sort of looked as if he'd hurt his leg. He may be able to run that one out, but North are getting away here. They're 8 goals to 4.
It was a smart play, wasn't it? He knew if he took possession he was going to be in strife and just kicked it, well, basically out of mid-air. Mercedes kicks the Bombers forward. Barnard, well, he's pretty well playing a lone hand across half forward. They need a bit more from Lucas and Lloyd, particularly Lloyd, who's been shut right out of the game by Archer. Punched away by Pike from Mercury for a boundary throw-in. Big margin now, 27 points.
I think you're right too. Barnard really is the only winning forward for Essendon at this time. He's being matched up there with Roberts, and he's getting away far too much. He's had plenty of the ball since he went down there, Barnard.
Essendon currently ranked 5th in the AFL as far as their attack is concerned, but struggling a bit tonight. Just 4 goals won, and we're well into the second term. On the other hand, 12 scoring shots for North Melbourne. 3 goals in the first quarter to Brent Harvey. Lloyd, snapshot by Matthew Lloyd. The ball rebounds from Lalich over for a boundary throw-in.
Just see if they do that same thing again on that occasion. It was the 2 ruckmen that actually wrestled, but Alessio was just holding the North Melbourne player there in Roberts, and it was Lloyd that was going to go for the ball. Archer will have learned from that last throw-in.
The official AFL website updated regularly throughout matches. A kick by Alessio through from behind. So all the latest news on the website. Sandy Roberts has a complete wrap on a Monday morning there. .com.au with the AFL. So 8-4 to 4-2 here as King brings it out.
And does well. Gets past Blumfield. You can see the boundary line just a couple of metres to his right. So he keeps it close to the boundary line. Moorcroft gathers. Handball on Lloyd. He's just taken in just nearly a scissor tackle. Barnard knocks it on. Long knocks it wider still. Calthorpe. Bomford. Calthorpe gets it out to Barnard. He's working very hard, Paul Barnard. He's kicked towards half forward. Alessio gathers, gets past Pickett. Handball to Heffernan. Heffernan wider still. Bomford on the end of it. And the Bombers, gee, that was hard work, but they've got a goal. It really was a big effort by Essendon, but Andrew Bomford has kicked their 5th goal with 11.5 minutes left in the second term.
Steve Alessio is playing a very good game. It is a terrific advantage if you can get a big bloke that works at ground level like Alessio did on that occasion. It was he that won the ball from that crumb, and then it was he that actually set the goal up on that occasion. Had 10 possessions, taken 5 marks. Been very good, Steve Alessio.
Handy one, wasn't it? They needed it, the Bombers. It's 8-4, 5-2, so Bomford Kicking the goal, Heffernan's handball good, but Alessio set it up, and then backhanders that one out of the centre. Bomford to Long. This is promising. Long delivers to half forward. Martin's there with Lalich, comes to ground, taken by Lloyd, onto him Archer. Lloyd, Archer, Welsh is in there with Lalich, and it's going to be a bounce about 45 metres from Essendon's goal. Coming off Simpson, and Roberts coming on for North.
I think Matthew Lloyd's going to have nightmares about Glenn Archer.
Blakey's quick kick away. Plays the percentages so well, Blakey. Heffernan, and no free kick over the top of him. In fact, now out of play.
Well, he wouldn't be the only forward, would he?
He's a bit of a pest, isn't he? But by gee, he's a great player. I think everyone admires the way he goes about his game.
Scotty Welsh has now gone on to Paul Barnard. And Roberts is at full forward.
Sorry, to McKernan at the back now. Is that a free kick?
Yeah, there's a free kick paid in the ruck contest, Bruce. I can't really clarify what it was paid for, but out of the ruck contest.
Alessio's got it. Pike belts it away. King tried to go off the ground in the end. Bell kept his head pretty well, then just gets rid of it in a hurry. North have done this very well, and King comes away and belts the ball to Abraham with a beautiful kick. Abraham would be even money from there. Bouncing ball, doesn't quite get there. Carey works Wellman out of the way. Still with the King, hooks it back and scores. That hurts. So quick from one end to the other.
It was a great bit of work there by Bell at half-back, and also I'm just trying to pick up the player across half-back, but it was just a terrific bit of handball. It released King through the midfield, and then his kick to space in front of Abraham had moved up the ground was magnificent. But once again, it was just Carey the way he got rid of Wellman. Wellman was in the best position to take hold of that ball. Carey just with his body, his hand against him, pushed him out of position, got him off balance, and then just spun around. And you enjoyed that, didn't you, Robbo?
Oh, look, he is just a great player. He really hasn't had a big influence, but by gee, he's always there, isn't he, Wayne Carey? Alessio to Hardwick. Hardwick short, punched away by Bell. Good play. Michael Long getting his hands on the football, which is good. Hardwick out wide. Mark should be taken by Bomford. Just got out of his reach. He's able to gather, then handball further forward. Kicked by Heffernan in towards half forward Mercury. Well, he was hit above the right eye early in the first quarter, and he's come back onto the ground, just struggling a little bit. He's kicked to half forward. Good mark taken by Lloyd. A confidence booster for Matthew Lloyd. Still a young man in AFL terms. 50th game tonight, along with his teammate Scott Lucas. And that was a good grab by Lloyd.
And one of the rare occasions tonight where he's actually got away from Glenn Archer, who just trailed him into that contest, perhaps thinking that because Lloyd was about third or fourth in line that he wasn't going to go for the ball. But this young fellow, although he's been outpointed tonight, has been working extremely hard.
Well, he'd be a chance to kick a goal. The man on the mark is about 47 metres, and it's a good kick. He's got his first goal for the night.
Well, he's kicked 30 for the season, so he's almost keeping pace with his twin out there, Scotty Lucas. But really, I was just about to say that Essendon have been really falling down across half forward. They hadn't really had anybody to go to. We see Lalich there on the screen. He's number 17. He's now out there on the ground across half forward. Barnard's really been their only winning forward with Scotty Lucas, who has been pretty much taken out of the game as well.
(6-2-9-4). Lloyd gets his first, and the Bombers stay close enough here. McKernan wins the tap. Welsh, Barnard, well played. Mercury to Masidi. Masidi about 60 metres out, bangs it up high to full forward. Archer got back hard. Lloyd's got another one. No, just missed. He read it well. There's Lucas, who took the hard knock. So these are good signs for Essendon. Lloyd, as Tim said a minute ago, Archer's been magnificent, but Lloyd's work rate's been good, and if he just keeps going at it all night, he's good enough. He's going to get a fair bit of it.
The stakes are high when you play as a defender, though, aren't they? Archer was the third or fourth bloke up on that occasion just to affect the spoil. But then if you go up and you compete, then you're not going to be at ground level when the ball comes back down there, and that's where Matthew Lloyd positioned himself.
King forced to go wide, and a good kick in the end to Martin because it's just outside the 50. And Mickey's got hold of it. So the Bombers have done well, I reckon, in the last 5 or 6 minutes here to just hold this match together after North threatened to blow it away a bit before half-time. And Essendon has closed it. Martin's kick from half-back to centre wing. Alessio front spot. Kerry defensively towards the boundary. Lloyd's hip and shoulder was effective on Stevens. Bomford just gave it up quickly to Lloyd. Lloyd back to centre half forward, and Lucas has got it. And this height advantage that the Bombers have got up forward is suddenly becoming a factor.
Well, when you send the ball so many times forward, once again in this second quarter, Essendon have taken inside 50, 12-6. They've had plenty of the ball. They've had about 15, 16 more possessions. And it's just going to be weight of numbers.
See if Lucas could do what Lloyd did a moment ago. Gee, they're good, those kids. In their 50th, the two of them. They're a couple of big goals, aren't they?
Magnificent.
In the space of about 90 seconds, they've belted it through from 50.
And both those kicks were from outside 50, and they sailed well and truly through as we see McCartney just got lost in that situation there, and Lucas taking a pretty simple mark on the chest. But just to finish that point I was making before, Essendon have been very good in general play. They are a high possession side. North Melbourne are the lowest possession side in the competition, so they're just going to take their chances when they go forward, as we see Harry Madden, who's the new ruck coach there at North Melbourne, in the background.
And he's got the big ad for Labor in the football record tonight, do Tim? Justin
Let's
Madden.
not get political now,
Well,
Robert.
we'll keep it all even, won't we, Tim? Bounce back in the centre. 9-4 play, 7-3. It's 13 points the margin that this man's led admirably from the middle of the ground, Steve Alessio. Calthorpe's kick, just a little average. Lucas overruns it. McCartney's under pressure. The ball spills wide. Lalich not able to get there. And the Essendon fans have found a bit of voice. It went out to about 26 points, the lead for North Melbourne just a few moments ago. It's back now to just 13. Lucas and McCartney. Lucas to the front, Stevens. Well done, Bomford. But Archer's there for the Kangaroos. Gets it quickly down towards Carey. Reading it beautifully off the back. Here's a chance for Grant. Berbakoff got in there to just make it a little difficult. Carey able to follow up. Carey snapshot, bounces just inside. And we'll have a boundary throw in right forward pocket for the Kangaroos. Plenty of excited fans here tonight.
Well, Essendon have just dominated out of the centre, haven't they? They've had the ball going forward, and they've had North Melbourne's defence on a lot of pressure. North holding up in the early part of that quarter, but it was just a matter of time before they broke.
Carey, Roberts, left foot snap by Roberts. Is out of bounds on the full. Joe Mercedes to bring it back for the Bombers. 58 plays 45. Just checking where the man on the mark should stand. Gave him a little bit of space. Kicks it outside his defensive 50. McKernan gets it down to the front. Grant. Kick not usual for Shannon Grant. Abraham swings around onto his right. Hooks the kick. Straight back to the goal square where Robert Scott's on his own. And is that 50 metres? Doesn't really matter anyway, does it?
No, not really. The umpire has line time on, so that would indicate that we see here the mark taken. Then contact made, knocked into the ground by Calthorpe. You know, not a lot in it. Scotty certainly made sure it was noticed, but 50-metre penalty results.
So Scott to kick the goal. I think when the ball came bounding in from Abraham, every Essendon supporter's heart just, swept a little slower when they saw Robert Scott just...
I think they took a heavy and deep gulp, because it was just quite brilliant. He was outside 50, just summed it up. He knew he had the leg power to actually kick over that pack of players, spotted Scott on his own, and that's the beauty of having a small player who can kick the lines like Abraham.
So a handy one for the Kangaroos. 10-4, 7-3. Beautiful play by Abraham, and to get it to Scott. Alessio, McKernan, Stevens out of the centre and goes long. 2 full forward. Roberts is at the back. In the front was Abraham. Comes to ground. Left foot snap by Bell. Up in the air. Out on the full. It'll be an Essendon kick in through Fletcher.
And Dennis Pagan obviously a little bit concerned about Scotty Lucas. He's switched Carey from centre half forward back onto Scotty Lucas across half back. Obviously just not wanting Essendon to score too many goals a game before half time. Just wants to keep that advantage, because it has a psychological advantage for a team going in 3 or 4 goals ahead at half time.
McCartney released because of that. and takes the mark. He's kicked his first goal for North Melbourne already tonight. Kicks the ball to centre half forward. Moorcroft. Burl got involved at the back. Harvey with a chance. Well read by Harvey. It's a beautiful kick for goal. And he's got one again. He's fourth. Well, probably hard on Gary Moorcroft, but the percentages weren't big at the back there. And now North get away again. It's 11-4 to 7-3.
Well, they're quite possibly, the best front and square side in the competition, North Melbourne. They just get there, they line up. Moorcroft probably should have taken that mark. Then he knocked it back into a really dangerous position right out the front, and that's where the opposition always camps. The forwards always get there, and in numbers. And on that occasion, it was Harvey that finished off, and he's been very good at ground level with 4 goals.
There's 3 goals in the first quarter to Brent Harvey, and his 4th goal coming late in the second term. Bit of aerial ping pong, but just kicked forward blindly by King. Mark taken by Fletcher. Fletcher goes wide. They've got 2 or 3 out here on the members' side. Mercury marks and then gets past his opponent. Kicks in towards centre forward. Good kick. Terrific kick. That's got to be a free kick, doesn't it? Oh, dear me. Stevens to mop up for North Melbourne. Back towards half forward. Well done this time by Moorcroft on Stevens. Back to Fletcher. Fletcher waits the kick. Mercury runs onto it. Well done. Then moves it forward. Barnard, who's provided some sort of just something to get to because he's been active. Very active, Paul Barnard. Umpire coming in to just remonstrate here.
Just have a bit of midweek. It's just making sure the umpires are aware who's in control, and that was really the purpose of that exercise. Here we see Barnard taking it, getting a little bit of rough treatment, not liking that, and coming up and letting everybody know.
Well, frustration setting in maybe for the Bombers. They trail by 25 points. Long has the football in the middle of the ground. Good kick. And Lucas in front of Carey has marked. So with 4.5 minutes left, Lucas, now Wayne Carey just with Chris Heffernan there, and Lalich. He's certainly a man on a mission. He's his tactics, he's led the side. Hasn't had a lot of the football, Wayne Carey, but he's certainly letting all the Essendon players all over the ground just know about his physical presence.
And we know for sure that Scotty Lucas can get the distance from here. Good play there by the Essendon forwards because they left a huge hole at that part of the ground, and then it was only Scotty Lucas that actually led into that hole. They didn't get in each other's way.
Well, the Bombers can do with a straight kick here from Lucas. It goes long and it just misses. So bad luck there for Lucas. He's kicked 2 goals, 1 now in that Essendon scoreline of 7-4. It's exactly 4 goals the margin in favour of the Kangaroos.
King just to himself and then straightens it up a bit, but the Bombers should get this, and Lucas has marked. Paul didn't have the carry to get to McKernan. Mercury was calling for it out wide. Lucas goes short, and Lalich stood his ground well. Admittedly, it was Scotty who was trying to belt it away. He's not the tallest player in the North Melbourne team, but Lalich did a good job to hold his ground and take the mark.
I think Dennis Pay will be pretty disappointed with that kick there from King that went straight back up the centre of the ground where the Essendon players had camped. It's in the time-on period of this second term, and they'd like to maintain this 4-goal lead. And this guy, Lalich, can kick a long way.
He was very good, wasn't he, last week? Coming on for James Hird. First time we'd seen him. And there's no worries with the distance. He's given it a big ride, but he has missed as a behind. So Lalich and Lucas missing from a long way out, admittedly, but both gettables. 11-4 to 7-5.
You couldn't get much straighter, though, could you? They're almost dead in front of goal, within their kicking range, and that's disappointing for the Essendon side that they would miss those set shots, because they can come back and they can be costly in the wash-up.
King to the members' side of the ground. Mercury and Carey. Back to Barnard. Little kick is marked by Calthorpe, coming in from Olorenshaw, looking to play on. He's run down, able to get the hand pass away to Bomford. Skillful player is Bomford, and he finds Mercury. Now, you would think that Mark Mercury could kick the distance here, wouldn't you?
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. This is within his kicking range. whether or not he's going to be able to get the accuracy that you would consider that percentage-wise, given that the last 2 set shots have missed, even though this is on a bit of an angle, Mercury will be able to put this one through.
2.5 minutes left. Can Mark Mercury kick the Bombers' 8th goal? It is a beautiful kick. Well done, Mercury. It's a goal to the Essendon side. Well, to say that that was badly needed just before half-time would be the understatement of the first half. But it's on the scoreboard, 11-4 to 8-5 North Melbourne lead.
It's a real psychological advantage, isn't it, to go in, say, 3 goals in arrears as opposed to, say, 4 or 5 goals. They've been taking the ball forward. They've been setting up the scoring opportunities. They haven't been taking them. They've had plenty of the ball, as we know they will tonight. And you really, once you get inside 50, you've got those set shots. You've got to be able to nail them.
So North Melbourne lead by 17 points, jumping far too early, McKernan. Alessio to Buick. Buick pretty well up and under. Pickett confronted by Alessio. Free kick.
Alessio ran into the front of Pickett, so similar to the one we saw in the first quarter, Robbo. Obvious free kick.
Pickett gets the hand pass away. Kicked forward by Pike and well marked by Blakey. Blakey is 51 metres from goal.
He's got to go to McKernan on his own in the goal square.
He's going to go for the goal. He's got hold of it right into the square, and McKernan has got it. He was there for an eternity.
Well, I counted. I think he was there for 14 seconds on his own. There was nobody that went down with him. Alessio was still up the ground, and the kick carried in the end by John Blakey. Just watch this again. It was a small Moorcroft that went to him. In the end, he really almost made a meal of it, Corey McKernan. Should have been taken to one grab, and he's going to try and kick a banana.
Corey McKernan for North Melbourne's 12th goal. It looks pretty good. McKernan has kicked his second, and just as Essendon kicked their 8th goal, it was quickly answered by the Kangaroos. You can see a minute and a half left, a goal to McKernan. And
that one hurts too. Just when they've been able to inch their way back, Essendon a little bit closer to North Melbourne, still in time on, can only be a couple of minutes to go. In fact, there's a minute and a half to go. McKernan takes that mark. And I just wonder whether you'll try the same tactic in the centre again, because Alessio has been confounding him here in the centre, and he's been missing him. They're lined up across the ground. There's a good camera shot there. And just watch Corey McKernan jump early.
Not quite so pronounced, but again the same result, Tim, with Alessio. Mercury doing a very, very, very good job in this quarter after coming on and behind. So full credit to the Bombers here. North threatening to really take charge, and Essendon keep hanging in. 12-4-8-6. Been a bit inaccurate, Essendon, towards the end of this term. Well, 4 goals without a miss at quarter time. But it's been a high standard first half. First quarter was an absolute beauty. And North has had the best of it in this quarter. Young Watt, big fly there. Couldn't take it. Barnard's been good. Mercury, normally a great goal kicker. Wonderful smother. Mercury getting back. Stevens was the man who smothered it, and Mercury forced into an error out of bounds on the full, which is unusual for him. He probably took one stride too many here, though he had to balance himself. And Stevens was fortunate with the angle, the way Mercury kicked the ball. It helped him take a good smother. There's the kid, Shannon Watt, in his first game taking a mark to Bell. Bell kicks to centre wing. Wellman in front of McKernan. So late goal here would be very handy, wouldn't it, but for the Bombers?
My word.
Wellman trying to set something up. Blakey sits underneath. Not a good kick by Wellman. Blakey to Pike. Pike booms it into the centre. Important ball here. If Grant can get it forward, North have got a chance. He's got nobody at home. He's going to go for goal. Now the ball's going to bounce 20 metres out. Fletcher's racing hard. Still hasn't really got it. Oh, gee. Calthorpe to help him. And eventually a behind. Cochrane was the man there for North Melbourne.
Just watch this again. Fletcher gets over the top of the ball, but it was just the fact that they had numbers. And they'll be quite happy to concede that point and just try and work something out from this kick out. They've still got time to take it forward and score a goal. Well,
they've had a couple of surges, but still North Melbourne hold the ascendancy. Damien Hardwick back to Fletcher. Fletcher now goes short to 2-on-1. Important. And Wellman is marked between McKernan and McCartney. Wellman's kick into the middle of the ground. Run with it, Michael. No, he doesn't. He decides to deliver. He's just down a little bit in confidence towards Mercury. And he's manufactured something. Matthew Lloyd, just as the siren sounds. It looked a real chance for the Bombers. Lloyd about to pounce on it. The siren sounds. It's half-time. A very, very entertaining first half. Kevin Sheedy. There's the North Melbourne boys pretty happy because they lead this game 12-5 to 8-6.
Wide, they stay in the corridor as much as they possibly can, and as I said a moment ago, they are very efficient.
12-5 to 8-6. Second half here. Friday night football. Eastdale on the ground and quickly to Bomford. Bomford to fall forward. Great start by the Bombers. Lloyd's got it. Eastdale getting involved for the first time tonight. And there's a trump card maybe for Kevin Sheedy to be able to play here, because North has struggled in the ruck all season, and Lloyd's mark was a good one after the movement forward from Bomford. I
was really surprised that Easto didn't start on the ground actually and Alessio in forward, because I thought that was an area that Essendon could in fact exploit North Melbourne by having that extra height of Steve Alessio. Mick Martin's picked him up in the forward line, and Matthew Lloyd obviously just finding himself a bit of space there with the ball breaking from the centre quickly. Get a great view here from the camera behind him. He's kicked a terrific goal in the second quarter. That's not such a good kick through Pike's fingers and a behind. So Eastall on for the Bombers, and 8-7 to 12-5. The interchanges, Dipper.
Yes, Bruce, we're seeing Michael Long for Essendon on the bench in the third quarter here with Solomon Buick and Lalage, Simpson and Cochrane, Hewitt, and also Scotty Welsh for North Melbourne. Thanks for that, Dipper. We'll keep an eye on that interchange. King got it outside 50. Chandler's on the ground for North after being on the interchange in the opening half. He kicks the ball down the line, basically wanting Carey. He was third in line. Lloyd got back to help Wellman. Heffernan, his handball in the second quarter was good. Carosella got it back to Masidi, to Wellman. Wellman asked to deliver wide, and he does to Bomford, who's worked pretty hard since coming on.
Yes, they haven't gone down the ground all that much, but they've got Bomford loose. After bouncing twice, Bomford now goes deep into the forward pocket. Alessio up against Martin. Martin straight for the boundary line, playing the percentages.
I reckon Mickey Martin's probably just about the best body-on-body player in the competition. He really claims his man early, as we see Michael Long just looking on there at the bench. Lalage just behind him, the player in screen. He's just a very good player at claiming his man early.
Well, North Melbourne, they've won their last 5 games under the lights against Essendon. That's an interesting stat. They're doing everything right so far in their quest for their 6th victory under lights against the Bombers. They lead this game presently by 22 points. The umpires officiating in tonight's game: Aidan Kennedy, Steve McBurney and Shane McInerney. And the ball belted clear for a boundary throw-in. So a couple of young faces there: Hewitt, Cochrane
and Welsh.
And Scotty Welsh. Roberts in front of Barnard. Bomford gathers, gets it away to Calthorpe. Calthorpe close to the boundary line, hooks the kick to the front of the goals. Lloyd nearly grasped that mark. Taken away by David King, short. Dropped by Joe Masidi. Goes across the half-forward line, taken by Lucas. Lucas will bomb away from there, and Scotty Lucas has hooked the ball just a little bit too far and scored a behind. 2 goals, 2 to Lucas, 1 goal, 2 to Lloyd. And with just a little bit of good fortune, they may have had 5 or 6 between them. Short kick in, taken by Roberts.
Yes, between them, their last 4 scoring shots have been behind Lloyd and Lucas after those 2 long goals. Carey's got it at centre wing. Delivers to centre half forward. Abraham's a target here. He's caught between a couple. Harvey's read it well. Could he kick his 5th? He's run down by Heffernan. Taken by Hardwick. Hardwick couldn't get it out of the danger zone. Handball back was good. Fletcher had a very good first half. Kicks the ball outside 50. Eastall's got it. Plays on to Bomford. He's going to have to break the line of Grant. He does. Now Bomford straightens up with a bounce and runs away. Little chip kick to Calthorpe, who worked hard in the second quarter. In the centre, running out of room. Now didn't ran out of ideas almost in the end. Martin missed it. Carousel with no Lloyd in the back. Free kick. Now he can kick this, the kid. They need this one, the Bombers.
I think he has to kick it. They've had a couple of chances at the start of this third term.
It's been mainly Essendon, hasn't it? From the very first bounce when Eastall got it to Bomford, who got it to Lloyd. And this is a big kick in the context of this match.
Poor play then by Archer.
So Lloyd within kicking distance. Get another good view. Let's see if he can wind this one up. He's kicked it out, coming back, but not enough behind to Lloyd. So I'll repeat here, the last 5 shots for goal that Lloyd and Lucas have had between them, they've scored 5 behinds, and Essendon has kicked 4-9 since quarter time.
And they've been inside 50 6 times to 1 already in this third term, which is only a couple of minutes old. 20 points, and when you get in there, Tim, you've got to make the opposition pay.
Well, if you count it from quarter time, it's 14 to 27. So they really have had the ball in their own forward 50 plenty of times. They're just not making North Melbourne pay.
Archer takes the ball away and then kicks down to the wing. Player on his own is Blakey. He's got plenty of time to steady. Takes one bounce and then kicks straight towards goal. No one home for the Kangaroos, and the mark is taken by Damien Hardwick. Across that line, Carosella is marked. Carosella's kick smothered off the boot. Just a little lazy there, and he'd be disappointed with that, because when they had the chance to take the ball away from their full-back line, it is still in the danger zone as far as the Bombers are concerned.
That's good concentration there by the player on the mark, isn't it, to be able to affect the spoil in a situation like that.
Boundary throw in, Eastor and McKernan. Spills to the back, and the ball in there somewhere underneath 2 or 3 of the players, and the umpire will bounce about 40 metres from the North Melbourne goal. North Melbourne ranked 14th in defence, so from their point of view they'd probably be looking at trying to improve that maybe. The ball spills out wide. Now the race is on. Olorenshaw and Chandler, and it goes over for a boundary throw in. Spent most of the first half on the bench. Chandler, 20 points is the margin in favour of the Kangaroos. The ball very much in the danger zone as far as North are concerned. 15.5 minutes left in this third quarter. Bomford gets his left foot to it and forces another throw in.
He's been good, Bomford, since he came on the ground. He's in double figures with possessions, and sometimes it's a player like him that doesn't have a huge reputation that you can actually throw into your midfield, and some of the players in the opposition often don't pay them enough respect.
So again, that boundary throw in. Stevens read it well. Quick right foot kick. Gets it inside 50. And Chandler, Olorenshaw, boundary throw in. So without James Hird this season, the Bombers are going for 2 wins only from 6. So that's interesting. And Hird practically didn't play last week when they were beaten. Wouldn't they love to have him out there tonight? A fit James Hird. Carosella. Hardwick working hard, trying to get it out towards Eastor. Olorenshaw realises his options are few, and again a boundary throw in. So just a flat spot here for a couple of minutes. Not a lot happening. No goal since half-time. North yet to score, and 3 behinds to Essendon.
And John Blakey has now gone to Scott Lucas.
Kernan off and Hewitt on for North Melbourne. Eastor front spot, worked out by Scott to Grant. Free kick, hanging on.
And ball kicked away, Bruce, so Grant appealing for a 50, but doesn't look as though he's going to get it.
He worked hard enough to get the free kick in the first place, I think. He doesn't want to stretch his luck.
How the umpire can pay that from there.
He did that well, didn't he?
He did that very well, Dipper.
So Grant delivers to centre half forward, wants to get it to Carey, doesn't get back that far. And in the front spot, Mercury, without the headband here after being cut up in the first half, takes the mark. Played well in the second quarter. Short to Lucas at centre half back.
Lucas swings onto his left and then kicks it down the ground. Try to get his opponent out of position there, Moorcroft, and his opponent was Pickett. Ball still in the middle of the ground. Pickett was desperate, wasn't he? David King to go down the ground for North Melbourne. Can he get past? Yes, he can. He kicks with the right to centre forward. North Melbourne player there, Martin Pike, is marked about 35 metres out, and that just looked a little too easy.
What about the desperation of Pickett in the centre of the ground, though, Robbo? You called it correctly. Missed the first time, went back after the ball, got it over to King, and then King, an intelligent kick, just stood, summed up his options, and then kicked to the space in front of Martin Pike, who drifted forward.
Well, he was a terrific goal kicker in one of his seasons with Melbourne, and it's a bit of a mongrel punt kick, but it's all right, it's a goal. His first goal for the game. And North Melbourne, after Essendon had all the play up until then, North Melbourne get the first goal of the third quarter.
Well, it's all about taking your chances in AFL football. It's about kicking the set shots. When you get inside your 50, you only have a certain number of opportunities. North Melbourne have been very good from set shots, and Essendon have just wasted opportunity after opportunity.
McKernan being worked on here as North slip away 13-5 to 8-9. 83 to 57, so 26-point margin. Eastor in the centre, against him was Hewitt. Stevens, handball out, Barnard, Moorcroft, it was just behind him a fraction. Ola Renshaw, well done, but held up by Scott, was a good tackle. Back to Barnard, clever handball to Masidi. Masidi measures the kick to full forward, he wants Alessio. Beautifully played, Martin. Blumfield's had a quiet one, only one kick. Mercury, still Mercury. Little one or too cute maybe. And Archer belts through. Bomford's little left footer. The Bombers want something out of this. It comes out wide to Barnard. Barnard hooks it back, wants a mark. They've got three players there. Big fist up, comes back to Berbakoff. Nothing happening. North holding it up, holding it up. Play on call, good umpiring. McCartney caught in the tackle, and again good umpiring. Oh, I thought he said play on.
He did actually, Bruce, he did. And the instruction of the umpires is not to call for a field bounce until the ball is trapped. And that was great right up until the last minute because the ball wasn't trapped. Probably a bit premature for the bounce.
Alessio back to Blumfield. Alessio hooks it back. Pike and Mercury. Pike still in play. Strong hip and shoulder on Pike, still in play. Bell, gee, North has done well to get out of this because the Bombers had it, didn't they?
Yes, certainly, Bruce. And the ball now out wide on the wing. So North Melbourne, they'd be pretty happy with that result.
That was just sheer will and desperation in the end. Essendon had probably 4 or 5 opportunities to score a goal as we see Paul Barnard leave the field and Darren Buick come onto the ground.
So 26 points probably equals the biggest margin between these two teams, which before that was sometime in the second quarter. The ball now with Ola Renshaw, breaks the Pickett tackle, and back he goes straight into Pickett. Bomford beaten for it by Carey, can't break away from Lucas. Stevens to kick North Melbourne into attack once again. Desperate stuff by Fletcher, but it comes back to Shannon Grant, back onto his left, and a skillful player just misses, hits the post. Gee, it looked pretty good in running, but into the woodwork. Paul Barnard having a spell on the bench. 27 points is the margin. Fletcher to himself and then kicks long. And they're going to go away with this. Wellman, they really should get... What's happened here?
There's a shepherd being paid.
Oh. Could you see that, John?
Well, yeah, I certainly did see it. It was a bit of a token gesture for the marking contest by Simon Eastor. We see it come up. Eastor just puts his arms up, really not attempting to mark the footy, just making sure that the North Melbourne opponent can't contest the mark with Wellman. Pretty ordinary free kick. But anyway, Roberts with the football, kicks North Melbourne back into... Oh, Winston! That's the mark, if you don't mind! A beauty! He has twisted and turned. What's the difficult degree here in this? That's a beauty, isn't it?
Can I have my screaming? Beauty!
Oh, dipper.
Just watch this again. And the control, even there, I actually thought he'd lost it on the way down to the ground. But at no stage did the ball hit the deck. And that has brought the North Melbourne fans to their feet here at the MCG. This fellow is the excitement machine.
I reckon football fans all over Australia love that sort of stuff. Just magnificent athleticism. And he's kicked the goal. Two goals to Winston Abraham and a sensational mark. 14-6 to 8-9.
Well, it's getting out to a critical lead now for Essendon to be able to haul them back in. Just watch this again. Had the 1-2-3 jump at it, got there first, but it was just his control. Never really able to take it cleanly, but his reflexes in being able to get back and grab that ball, that is a sensational mark.
Oh, big play by Abraham. Huge mark. Eastall gets the tap. Stevens the kick. North on fire here. Kicks the ball inside 30. Abraham goes to ground. Comes back. Harvey. The ball ricochets away. Front spot to Olorenshaw. Ridden to the ground. And it'll be a ball up. Well, what a great decision by the umpire to ping Eastall a moment ago. We wouldn't have seen Abraham's mark, but it was an interesting one.
It was, wasn't it?
Oh.
I think he reacted to the fact that Eastall put his arms up and it was just a blatant action, but didn't really have much consequence.
Blakey's little one, another one. It's another goal. Well, it's suddenly got away, hasn't it? We just saw a super a moment ago that Essendon's biggest defeat for the year in all its matches has been 4 goals only, and that was against Fremantle at Waverley Park. But tonight now they're looking at a 6.5 goal deficit, and that's a huge margin here. Blakey onto it and kicking his first goal for the evening.
They're just aside. We mentioned it earlier in the call how all of a sudden they can break the shackles, North Melbourne, and they can score heavily, they can score quickly, and they certainly have put a big gap in this game here at the MCG. Essendon just have to take the ball forward and score.
Bombers only one multiple goal kicker, Scott Lucas. On the other hand, North Melbourne have got a little bit from plenty. 10 goal kickers on their list. Eastall kicks the ball close to the forward 50 for the Bombers. Moorcroft at the back controls it. Can't get the hand pass away to a teammate. North Melbourne players appealing for a deliberate out of bounds, I would suggest, but not forthcoming. Gary Moorcroft on screen. The boundary umpire will throw it in. It's about 45 metres from the Essendon goal. They badly need one back. They need a succession, 2 or 3, just to get them just a little bit in a positive frame. Buick, well done. Little kick to Lloyd was all right, but gee, it's going to be a difficult shot for Matthew Lloyd. Now, he hasn't played on. He just dead set has not played on.
Well, if he hasn't played on, one would think that it's probably going to be a 50-metre penalty.
It's got to be, doesn't it?
It should be, and it will be.
Right, I'll explain that. Well, you just said straight away it had to be.
Well, because if Archer runs at Lloyd when the umpire hasn't called play on, then unfortunately the umpire has no option but to pay the 50-metre penalty against Archer. Now, I know it looks hard, but if Lloyd has played on, Archer can run at him. If Lloyd hasn't played on, Archer can't run at him. And Archer ran at him. So,
well, we'll just wait and see on slow-mo after this kick, perhaps to see whether he went off his line. Well, that's a certain goal for Matthew Lloyd.
And Tim, what often happens is the umpires do concentrate too much on the man on the mark, very aware of what his movements are, but not concentrating enough on the man with the ball, in this case, Matthew Lloyd.
Just watch the replay here on this occasion. Now, Matthew Lloyd has taken that mark. Now
that is towards his mark. He has to attempt to play other than over his mark to be called play on, and he just ran at the mark.
So we have had a look at the slow-mo there. 15-6-9 sign. Summing up, right decision made, John?
I think so, Bruce, because he simply ran towards Archer rather than other than over his mark. Other than over his mark is play on.
Stevens belted out of the middle. So the Bombers have got one back here. They have got to close up. Fletcher did well. Got away from Watt to Wellman. Wellman's handball over the top to Hardwick. Attacked hard by Bell. Gee, North is at Essendon here. We talked about this at half-time. Let's have another look at the incident, John. You're saying he hasn't gone off the line?
No, that's right. He
he has gone off the line.
Well, now that we see it from here, then there is no doubt at all that Lloyd attempts to play other than over his mark, simply because his mark was on the boundary line where he took the mark, not where Archer was standing.
But the fact remains, the player on the mark cannot leave his position until the umpire calls play on.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yep.
So Hewitt to get it at centre wing.
The difficulty is, Tim, just quickly, that the mark is not necessarily where the player is standing, and Archer wasn't standing on the position where Lloyd took the mark.
Hewitt to full forward. Front spot McCartney. Harvey again. Gee, he's been good. 5 for the second time this year. Haven't they loathed their goals beautifully tonight, North Melbourne?
It's real disciplined play to get there, because you don't always get the ball. You've got to run maybe 5 or 6 times to actually get there and be the right person in the right percentage. But really, none of those Essendon players affected a correct spoil. They all really went there for the mark, and it ended up being a really soft crumb for Harvey to fall back onto, and he finished it off nicely.
Well, an interested onlooker there, James Hird, in the background of the what would be one of the coaches' boxes here at the MCG. Joe Mercedes kicks the ball forward, well trapped by David King across half-back. Moorcroft attempting to run him down, but he was well shepherded out of it. David King handballs the ball forward. Percentage play, Harvey brought to the ground, Moorcroft into the action again. Buick kicks it forward. Didn't have much of a chance to kick at it. Lloyd and Archer, it's been a very, very good contest between both of those players. Back to help out is Carey. Look away hand pass, Pike. Rather arrogant in the finish, wasn't it? And Pike's kick into the middle of the ground. It may come unstuck here. Smoking Joe's got it. Little kick. And good mark by Barnardus alongside Roberts.
And Dennis Pagan will be absolutely furious with that kick out of defence there by Pike. It should have hit its target. Just watch this again. That's the mark there by Barnard, but the play before that unfolded, North Melbourne had a chance to clear the ball from deep in their own defence. The ball didn't hit its target. There was a turnover, and then that's where we often find players free in their own forward 50.
Now, what do we know about Paul Barnard as far as reliability is concerned? The angle not all that difficult, and he should kick the distance. So from Essendon's point of view, they'll be hoping that he can convert. Nice looking kick straight over the goal umpire's head. It's a goal to the Bombers. He has contributed, Paul Barnard. He's been pretty good across the half-forward line, and he's kicked his first goal for the game.
Well, he had to convert from there. It was a fairly simple shot at goal, but the error occurred. Here we go again. Just see Carey handballs it across here to Martin Pike. Look away handball, and then Pike ran out of defence. That is the critical kick, that one when you're breaking from your own back half, and that actually had to hit Peter Bell. He was under pressure, and then Essendon took the ball forward. Essendon, they just need to get a run on here if we think, or if you think, or if they can possibly make up this leeway. They've got to get themselves about 3 goals closer by three-quarter time.
Mercedes, who did well a moment ago. Calthorpe to Carosella. Kick wobbly. Pickett having a good look at it. Did it beautifully. Gee, he's been impressive, Pickett. His balance is outstanding. Kicks the ball wide to Peter Bell. Bell's at centre wing. Always runs hard with the footy to Carey. Carey's probably been put back just to sit on this lead now. Belts it to half forward. Chandler, wonderful mark. Beautiful mark. Used his body, the little fellow, and kept his eyes on it, and he's got a chance to reply. This has been North tonight, hasn't it? Every time the Bombers have sort of got a sniff, they've been able to reply. Scott off the ground. He kicked a goal in the second quarter, and Chandler, it's a great mark. Long coming on now for Bomford for the Bombers. Chandler, just the 1 goal so far this season, and just coming away at the end for a behind. So it's 16 goals 7 to 10-9. Bomford on the phone to Kevin Sheedy or somebody in the box with Sheeds as Fletcher comes out. Little one to Lucas. Lucas away. Bombers have just got to keep at this very hard. They've got to treat this like a grand final tonight, because there may be no tomorrow if they're beaten badly here. Bluntfield's handball. He's had a very ordinary game to Eastor. Eastor's kicked Lloyd, and as Tim said, this has been the duel of the night. Archer and Lloyd. Archer magnificent. Now he has been called to play on. The irony in all of that. Archer's got him. Lloyd's funny old kick to the pocket. Moorcroft underneath. Well done, Roberts.
And just Bruce quickly, in that case, Archer was on the mark, and Lloyd certainly ran a little bit other than over his mark. We see here Archer standing at the spot where Lloyd took the mark, and then certainly very nearly runs straight at Archer, but he's called to play on.
Really a carbon copy of what he did before too, John.
Well, in fact, it was probably worse than the one before. Tim?
Roberts belts it out, gets it into the centre. Important ball here. Hardwick and Abraham. Carosella getting there. Can he use Hardwick? The handball comes back inboard. And North just a bit too desperate in these situations at the moment. Bell going forward. Simpson, they've played the percentages beautifully all night, North Melbourne. Ola Renshaw takes a wobbly one, bouncing off his chest at centre half back. Well, the Bombers have got to restrict North here now and get a couple before three-quarter time. Nice kick to Mercury. Can Mercury conjure something out? He's been a touch wasteful for him tonight. Gets it to Barnard. Here's the chance. Barnard pushes down. Wellman's neat, cute little one, and Long's marked. Well, this will be interesting because Michael Long so often likes to short pass from here, doesn't he? He's probably going to have to take it upon himself to kick the goal. He's inside 50. He's not the longest kick around.
Bruce, he's just come off the bench as well, so he wouldn't be that warm. He goes for short pass now.
And he's got Lloyd. Is that 50? Against Pickett? No.
There's a lot of acting in that.
I love the way Pickett said to the umpire, no, there's nothing in that.
I tell you what, Archer may have had the honours at quarter time, but I actually think Matthew Lloyd's probably worked himself back into a situation where he may be just shading Glenn Archer.
He's kicked 2-3. If he can get this one, he might have his nose right level with Archer for the night. Good view of the angle. Sorry, mate?
While we're waiting for him to have his kick, we saw Corey McKernan come off before. Looks like he's had a bit of a tight hamstring there, so that's the reason why he's not on the ground.
Big kick this Dipper, as Lloyd to go from the pocket. This just to close it a bit. Tries to guide it and misses. He's kicked 2-4. Probably needs, I mean, this is probably an odd call, but he probably needs 4 goals right now from the amount of play that he's had. He's probably deserved to have kicked about 4, doesn't he? 4 to 5, but he's kicked 2-4.
He's worked extremely hard to get the ball. He's worked hard right across the forward line. He's gone up the ground at different times too, trying to lose Glenn Archer.
Oh, costly error here. Michael Long's controlled the footy, kicks it into Calthorpe, and he's marked. He's certainly within scoring distance. It's exactly the same kick as Barnard had before, isn't it?
David Kigg's had his hands on his head for the last minute, I reckon, Robbo. He can't believe it.
From the kick in?
Yep.
How did he control it? He's just terrific to watch, isn't he, Michael Long? Even though he's missed a lot of football, kept the ball inside the boundary line, and it finishes with David Calthorpe.
He's got an untidy style, David Calthorpe, as we get right behind this shot, but he is quite an effective kick.
So Calthorpe kicks for goal and kicks truly. First goal for Calthorpe in this match, and the Bombers hit back 16-7, plays 11 goals 10.
Well, we're well into time on now as we just watch this error from the kick out once again. They're 4.5 goals behind Essendon. I still think if they can kick another goal before three-quarter time, then they're certainly in this game, given the fact that they do have speed in their midfield that can worry North Melbourne.
Kevin Sheedy now, something to work with. His team has shown a bit of spirit, and that's to be expected. That young man's got his hands on the ball, Eastor, but North Melbourne have read it pretty well up until that occasion there. Archer kicks it short. Bell back to Archer, to Steady. Short kick, chipping in is Moorcroft. Well done, disciplined play, and knocks it clear for throw-in. McKernan, Robert Scott, Welsh warming the bench presently for the Kangaroos. On centre wing, 20 handballs to 8 in favour of the Bombers in this third quarter. Eastor just gets rid of his opponent, Barnard, to Buick. Buick a little kick. Can they go forward as a result of this? Calthorpe is marked. Coming up for possession number 20. Short to Barnard again. And trying to hold him up there was Chandler. Barnard, wider still. Caracella still can't break free to move the ball clearly into their forward line. Kicks it high in the direction of Lloyd. Taken away there by Pike. No, Archer finishes up with the football. Back towards centre wing. Nice little tap on. Watt not able to gather. Eastor, he's a clever player for a big man. Caracella again. In towards full forward. David King in front. Pickett takes the football away. Gets it back to Archer. Archer short. The mark is taken by Martin.
So North realise here that the Bombers are coming at them late in the third quarter. And they're having to hold out plenty. Martin, gets his man Harvey. He's kicked 5 tonight. He's got Carey wider. Archer will probably get to Carey now with a handball or left footer. He got the left footer to Carey, who's got Shannon Grant on. Goes to him now. They've done well here, North. They've set this up beautifully, actually. They've been able to turn defence into attack. Grant runs the full distance and belts it towards centre half forward. Watt front spot, well done Fletcher. Read well by Lucas. Lucas to charge away and build it to Lloyd and Long. Carey getting back. Carey working towards the line. Long did well. Comes across in front of the King. Carey, well done. Struts a tackle, handball. Back towards King. That's David. Goes towards the line. Grant's little give's good to Bell. North away again. Bell kicks the ball to half forward. Wants Watt. Getting back as Wellman. There's Michael Long holding his head at the top left hand of the screen. Wellman holding the footy surely. And a free kick to North Melbourne at half forward.
Gee, they've scrammed something, haven't they? North, they were defending there for a long time, and they're going to have a shot at goal as we see Michael Long go down. And just an accidental shin on the back of his head. And what's the umpire seen here? The kick went forward. It's been pushed over the line. Long just holding the back of his head. And you can see the time left there. North Melbourne lead by 27 points. They led by 23 at half-time. Underneath that is Barnard, and he's going to successfully lock it up. Umpire quickly on the scene. He will bounce about 20 metres from the North Melbourne goal. Well, the work that Essendon have put in this quarter, and they've gone further behind from the half-time score. Barnard, Roberts, still those two players. Hacked out of there, back towards the middle of the ground. Gathered by Lucas. Can the Bombers scrounge something? Carousella out wide. Buick to run onto it. Half a minute left. Buick to half-forward Long. Handball, terrific one. Buick kick it. Too slow, Darren Buick.
Free kick against Alessio for, well, I won't describe it, but it was certainly illegal contact on Byron Pickett as Byron Pickett went to chase.
Pickett out wide. Maybe the last passage of play in this third quarter. Anthony Stevens around onto the left. Kicks the ball in towards centre half forward. Essendon must stop the North Melbourne mark. They did. And the siren has ended hostilities. That's Shannon Grant being attended to by the medical staff. May have copped one in the groin area, but at three-quarter time, North Melbourne lead by 27 points. They're 16-7 to Essendon 11-10.
So we might have another look at what caused the free kick there, as Buick was on his way. He was one step too far, and Alessio taking Pickett out of the contest. Grant, great chase, and it was a free kick back to Pickett. So, as Robbo said, Grant's got himself going again. The Bombers worked very hard in that term, but the margins actually increased from 23 to 27 for North Melbourne. But Essendon's given themselves a sniff, and Shannon Grant going over to the North Melbourne group here, and he should be fine to come back at the start of the last quarter. So North, handy break at three-quarter time, but the Bombers still in the match, I reckon. The margin is 27 points.
See, if they get something like that from Lloyd and Lucas, well, it just might turn into an Essendon victory.
First couple of goals so important here. Dipper to give us the interchange in a moment. 16-7 to 11-10. Kangaroos to go to the left of screen, and Simpson's kick to half forward. Grant's been good. Lovely mark. He was the man in the hands of the trainer just before three-quarter time. Kicks it high. Abraham getting underneath it. Hewitt was there. Belted away by a Carousella. Wellman. Fletcher's had a lot of the ball tonight. Kicks the ball to centre wing. Pike. Still Pike. Mercury with him. And it'll be a bounce. Who's on the interchange at the start of the last quarter?
Melbourne, a little bit of experience here. Robert Scott, Corey McKernan, of course, with that hamstring injury. Scotty Welsh and Shannon Watt. And also for Essendon, we've got Dean Solomon, Judd Ladich, and Peter Berkoff and Andrew Bomford.
Well, Bomford, who'd done pretty well in the middle part of the game, starting the last quarter on the bench. King for North Melbourne. Kicks it to half forward. This is a danger man. He's just got to get his hands on the footy a little bit this last quarter, doesn't he? And when he does, he's going to be a problem. That's Carey. The handball away, and the short kick has found Bell. Coming from Shannon Grant. Bell, well, yet to kick a goal, but he may change that right here.
Just see Wayne Carey just summing it up again, going back inside there to Grant, and he rarely wastes a kick.
Well, Peter Bell, he's been a terrific player for North Melbourne since crossing from Western Australia. Runs close to the man on the mark and gets the distance and the accuracy, and that's a bad one for the Bombers. It's a goal to North. Just not what Essendon wanted. 17-7 plays 11-10.
Things not looking as optimistic as they may have at three-quarter time now for Essendon. North Melbourne getting that critical centre bounce clearance, and Bell just getting on the end of it with a lot of space after drifting forward there.
Damaging goal there by Bell. Damaging goal there by Bell, as we see the Essendon interchange. Solomon and Berbatov by the look of it there. Alessio in hard, handball out by Olorenshaw to Hardwick. Hardwick did well, kicked the ball in Barnard's direction, tapped it on cleverly to Buick. Buick, normally a good kick, goes long and hard to fall forward, no mucking around. Beautiful Mark Lloyd, kicks his third, that's the one they had to get. He's a talent, that's what he's a talent. And as good as Archer's been, and he has been so good, he hasn't been able to keep him under control all night, has he? It's been a fascinating duel.
It has been a terrific contest. As we said earlier, Archer had the honours in the first quarter, but I just believe that Lloyd has slowly worked his back into a position where he's probably ahead now. Had he been able to kick those set shots, he would definitely have been a long way ahead. As it is, he's probably just inched his way forward. 3 goals. Hasn't been a great return, though, from the times he's had the ball in his hand within kicking range. Once again, it gets back to this critical centre bounce clearance situation.
Well, Alessio now up against Hewitt. The ball with Simpson. He's not able to do much with it. Neither is Anthony Stevens. Oh boy, they're all over the top there. And the umpire surely will bounce. 109 plays 82. Back to 27 points. The same margin, and a goal each in the early part of this last quarter. Moorcroft with Stevens. Alessio. Hewitt gets his right fist to it. Not able to break the congestion was Caracella's kick, but Roberts certainly succeeded. And it's with Carey. Back he goes to Simpson. A flying shot at goal by Simpson. Is that a goal? A beauty. Well, that's been the difference, hasn't it? North Melbourne with the accuracy, and the Bombers not able, with the 3 goals for against Matthew Lloyd's name. That probably is the story.
And North Melbourne once again getting that critical centre bounce clearance. Just watch that. It was just the work that Carey actually did on Wellman prior to that ball arriving. He just pushed him at the right moment, grabbed the ball, and once again he set up a goal with an intelligent handball.
So efficient, North Melbourne, aren't they? Efficiency plus, and when they're very good, they're almost impossible to stop. Carey, 2 handballs in this last quarter, resulting in a couple of goals. McCurry going forward. Well done, Lloyd. Attacked it hard. He's going to learn so much from this match, Lloyd, too. As Archer attacks as hard as anyone ever has and belts the ball to half forward. Carey, Hardwick held him up, taken off Abraham, basically. Abraham, magnificent handball to McCartney, who kicks it high and wide. Grant underneath it with Carousel, and Grant's taken a beauty. Well, North are looking good. That handball of Abraham was fantastic.
He wasn't even looking in that direction when he had hold of the ball. There must have been a call.
It's a goal. Two to Grant. North have opened it up now. They've belted away. He can do the lot, Abraham. He's one of the best kicks you'll ever see. Great mark.
You don't reckon instinctively that he knows that
just watch this again.
North Melbourne Guernsey?
Robbo, just watch it again. He gathered the ball there. He just a quick glance, and it was a fantastic handball.
Polly Farmer would have been pleased with that.
His perceptions are incredible. I mean, he's probably taken the mark of the night without any shadow of a doubt. I think the mark of the year.
Good body work by Shannon Grant then too on Blake Carosella.
And a smart goal too. He ran on and improved his angle.
It's been good, Grant.
19-7 to 12-10. 3 goals now to North Melbourne to just 1 for Essendon in this last quarter. McCartney's kick Well marked by Lucas, looking maybe to play on. Now he may be called to, he is wide to the outer side of the ground. Barnard, his contribution has been fairly good. Short kick into the middle, overrun there by Long, but he's able to knock it forward. Only as far there as Simpson. Very well done. He just knew he had a teammate there in Harvey, and the little kick was vital. Harvey's going for goal number 6. Harvey! Just missed. 5 goals, 1 to Brent Harvey. His first miss for the night. So it's out now to a 40-point margin. Looking ordinary for the Bombers. They just have to fight back. Calthorpe with the footy. Goes down the line. Very well done. Lalich has it. He can kick it forward further. Alessio up high. Has taken the mark. Looks to play on. Into the path of Buick. Does it sit? Buick nearly made it his. McCartney goes back. It's a struggle. Within scoring distance for Essendon. McCartney knocks it clear. David King off the ground, and well done. He's kept it in play too. Oh, he's followed that up well, hasn't he? And then put it on the chest of Blakey.
They've just been harder at the ball all night, Essendon, at ground level. North Melbourne, I mean.
I think we all know who you meant, Tim. Abraham gets it from Blakey. Belts inside 50. Fletcher's there. Pressure on him from Cochrane. Well played, Fletcher. Fletcher delivers to Hardwick. Hardwick gives it off quickly. They've got to get something from this now, the Bombers. Heffernan's kicked the Buick. Now Buick should go. He is 50 out. No, he's going to just kick it up too long. He's got him. Well played. It was the percentage in the end. Gee, David King a moment ago. He's a clever player, isn't he? It's a great play on the wing or half-back. So Michael Long, who's loath to kick for goal often. Now, we'll just see. He's a bit proppy walking back on the mark. Let's see. Didn't look 100%, did he? He's just grimacing a little. He's taking a couple of deep breaths. He's done a couple of magical things tonight. He's had a big blowout. You can see the carousel is off and Solomon on. Blumfield getting ready. So Long, who takes a very long run.
He'll get tired from the run-in, I think, Bruce.
He kicked 3 in Adelaide and he's come back home, and he handballs to Buick. Buick gets around the man, must kick the goal, and he has. Buick goes. Well, that is interesting. Like, Long's 30 metres out, handballs to Buick 50 metres out, and Long does look in a bit of trouble here. Buick gets his second goal, and the Bombers, well, they keep teasing us, don't they, Tim? But they're a long way back. He does look to have hurt himself a bit. He's probably, no doubt, I reckon.
Well, he landed on his left knee awkwardly. He's had a reconstruction. Obviously, he just didn't believe that he had perhaps the confidence just to put the pressure on that leg with the shot for goal.
Well, is it Michael Long's left leg that he's had problems with?
Yes, it is.
On that.
And the club physio, Bruce Connor, just signalled to the bench there that they've got to take him off the ground. So,
well, let's hope that there's nothing too serious and he can continue his AFL career. Little kick by Simpson has been marked by Mercury. It probably went the wrong way, and Mercury's transferred play to the opposite side of the ground where Barnard has marked. The player on the mark is 50 metres from goal. He will improve that situation. Probably make the angle a little more awkward, but certainly Scott Lucas can kick this distance.
It's Long coming from the ground now, Robbo.
Well, let's hope that it may only be just something slight. Exciting player when he's on song. Lucas with the footy. Kicks the ball prodigious distances, doesn't he? It's a goal. Gee, that is a long kick. Well over 50 metres and accuracy as well.
Well, it's a great kick, but it's not really the one you want him to kick. It's the one in that third quarter that you wanted him to kick when the side really needed to stay with North Melbourne. The pressure has gone off this game a little bit, given the lead, and the crowd of 48,000 here, 48,500, I think. Essendon and North Melbourne probably a bit disappointed in that game with that crowd. I would have thought there may have been in excess of 60,000. There's Doc Reed looking in Michael Long's eyes. Maybe he thinks he's got a bit of concussion. Maybe it wasn't just the fact that he appeared to be limping.
McKernan, Buick's got it. Well, the Bombers have kicked 2 in about 2 minutes. Buick has 2 goals to his name. He's one of the best kicks for goal, certainly at Essendon and maybe in the competition over the last 10 years. And you would think that he'll go here. This is a good little comeback here by the Bombers. When North seemingly was home, Essendon continue to go forward. Now, Buick's got to kick this. 48 metres out. He's missed it. Well, gee. He's disappointed. I know you just can't keep kicking them from 50, but they had to get that.
Just the news on Long, it is concussion, not his knee, so...
That's good, Dibber.
I suppose that is good, though.
Yep. Better scenario than we thought it might have been. King goes long.
I tell you what, they never give you the correct information, that Essendon bench.
To me they do, Robbo.
Oh, you come on. Well, the football with Martin Pike. Pike's kick into the middle. Carey. Long bomb by Wayne Carey. Misses to the left.
Now, they're very good, the doctors, actually, for both of these sides. I mean, they know their players are always under scrutiny, but they give us the right information. I'm sure they do, Robbo.
I think Robbo was talking like an old Carlton player, don't you, then,
Well, I'd
Dipper?
love to know how he got concussed. If
I
it's
agree with you, Robbo.
Unbelievable. Abraham. Not able to bend it back far enough. He has scored a behind. 2 goals, 1 to Winston Abraham. So the margin is 29 points in favour of North Melbourne. There's plenty of time left, over 12 minutes, but the Bombers have to kick 5 unanswered goals, and I would think that North Melbourne will have something to say about that, as they did there. That was a crude tackle by Carey on Wellman.
Firm contact from the front in the marking contest. Has to be a free kick every time. Wellman has to be protected.
Lucas with the football to kick the ball in towards centre half forward, and Blumfield not quite able to get control of it. Stevens has the football and he goes for the percentages wide, very wide. The race on now between Moorcroft and Chandler. Well done by Moorcroft to get the ball back to Ola Renshaw. Short, and Caracella missed the mark, and it was a crude tackle, was it?
Yes, the free kick has been paid, Robbo, exactly as you called it.
Crude effort there by Michael Martin on Blake Caracella. Caracella is between the centre wing and left half forward. Kicks the ball in towards full forward. Mercury, no. The umpire's going to take it back. Obviously, back to where Caracella will have to go through the motions all over again.
The reason being, he'd stopped the clock by blowing time on, Robbo, so play can't continue till he starts the clock again.
In towards Moorcroft. Gary Moorcroft with the footy near the middle of the ground.
Bit of urgency back in this game now. Moorcroft to Caracella. You can feel that the Bombers sense they've got half a hope, but not if they keep kicking like that. That's a poor return.
That's a low percentage kick, though, isn't it? When you've got to score goals, you've got to score them quickly. You've got to try and centre the ball. Just hope that somebody will either take a mark or that you'll get a crumb at ground level that will result in a goal. But just going out wide like that, kicking the ball away.
Stevens, the centre wing. Alessio front spot, takes it. Was going to give it off. Was held up by Carey. Wellman was running away.
This fella's been the best big man on the ground tonight.
So Alessio going for distance, doesn't get onto it, floats it to half forward, belted away by North Melbourne. Mercedes held up, he drops it down in the end. Cowthorpe, Heffernan did very well. Heffernan broke the tackle, kicks to full forward. Lloyd and Archer, a bit of a wrestle. Lloyd, well done. Lloyd, gold. Lucas, a beauty. There's still a little chance. 7 between the two kids in their 50th. Gee, they did well. And you can sense that Essendon are getting a run on here. This is closing this match, 19 to 15.
Good body work, and I think good umpiring on this occasion. Both players were just involved in a contest. Although Johnny Russo's laughing, I think he thinks that perhaps Glenn Archer was unfairly dealt with.
It's a good little play by Lloyd.
The ball goes to Matthew Lloyd. And Lucas.
I tell you what, you're glad we're in a commercial break then, Tim. Say it again.
I thought it was good umpiring until I saw it closely the second time around.
Oh dear. Anyway, North Melbourne lead by 23 points. And you can see that there's 10 minutes left. And there's a guy who hasn't given up, I'm sure. And he'd be hoping that the 18 guys out there in red and black Guernseys are going to go right the way down to the line here. Alessio's had a big heart all night. And there's a free kick here. It's going to Essendon.
For holding the man, Robbo.
Alessio gets it back quickly. Hardwick moves it out wide. Blumfield, he's got it. He's been quiet. but a couple of important possessions now in the remaining 10 minutes could be just what the Bombers need. Kicks it in the direction of Lucas. Kick back by Harvey towards the middle of the ground. Hardwick, has that been paid?
Yes,
it has. Gee, Abraham was nearly away with it, but the mark paid to Hardwick just behind the centre circle.
One firm grab, Robbo.
Kicks it high to left half forward. Out there, Harvey. Gets through, well done. Had coolness and presence there to get it to Grant. Grant down the ground, Fletcher. Knocks the ball clear, the rebound, where is it? Abraham's got his eye on it. He collects the footy, kicks it into the pocket, in front, Hewitt. Well done, Alessio. Hasn't he covered some territory in this little passage of play? Away to Hardwick, and the Bombers will get clear through Masiti.
Belted to centre wing, Moorcroft, well done, front spot. The Bombers have got a little sniff here. Moorcroft to give it off, he does. Heffernan's been good, goes to full forward, Buick goes to ground, Lloyd nearly a beauty. Free kick against Buick, is it?
For holding.
Can't believe it, look at this.
The signal given was for holding Bruce, so he pays a free kick against Buick for holding King. And, yeah, well, you can certainly see why it's paid. It's difficult to tell whether, in fact, he did restrain him.
So Carey's got it in the back pocket. 19-10 to 15-11. Carey short to Cochrane. There's still enough time here.
8.5 minutes.
Cochrane at half-back. North may have to kick another goal to really close this out. Fletcher went early. Lalich at the back. Stevens was going to go off the ground and then restrain himself, and a boundary throw-in. So we're back to the margin that we were at half-time. After all of that, it's back to 23 points. 19-10 to 15-11. Lalich didn't really get a belt on it. Stevens back towards Bell. Held on to Mercury. Moorcroft's quick kick to full forward. Lloyd and Archer. What a duel it's been from the first bounce. Carey, who'll probably go to defence for the rest of the match, I think, now. And Stevens gets it short from King. Stevens at half-back.
Well, it has been a very, very interesting game. Right from the first quarter when North Melbourne kicked 5 goals for to Essendon's 4 straight goals. North Melbourne got away to a bit of a lead in the second term, and they've been in that position, but the Bombers have always looked a bit threatening. Now, is that a throw? No.
High tackle.
Free kick to Olorenshaw.
High tackle paid to Olorenshaw, that's right, Robbo.
23 points is the margin in favour of North Melbourne. Olerenshaws kick down the wing. Lucas and Martin. The ball spills for a throw-in. Right on centre wing in front of the players' interchange area. North Melbourne, there's Dennis Pagan with his coaching staff. Big ask for the Bombers. They've got to kick 4 unanswered goals. Mercury, Moorcroft, back to Mercury, into the middle, taken by Blumfield. He's between the centre and centre half forward. His kick, it's all right. Lloyd missed the mark. Buick to tidy up. What a goal this will be. He's missed. 2 misses in the last 2 minutes to Darren Buick. Anxious faces there on the Essendon bench, and this was just, well, you put it down, didn't you? Carey marks the kick in and gets the ball down to Bell.
At half-back. Kicks it as far as he can towards the line. Alessio, what a game he's played, and forced out of play. So North are going to play defensively here for the rest of the match, and maybe on the counter-attack try and pinch a goal, aren't they?
Dustin Fletcher's off for Essendon. Looks like he's suffering from cramp. Obviously just come back from injury, so
it's been good too, Tippett. So
been very good for Essendon.
Going to miss him. Alessio's been wonderful. Abraham back to Stevens, who'll just kick hard to the space. This is where North is so dangerous. Well done though by Solomon. The Bombers are winning the one-on-ones for the moment. The kick a little too far. Danger here. Carey gets back for North. Carey normally delivers. He pokes it up to Pike. Well done. North with a chance here. Pike holds it up. Grant was running on for him. North in the right half as far as they're concerned. Pike goes as hard and long as he can, but it should be Berbatov, and he's got it at centre half back. There's no Carey, by the way, at centre half forward. He's gone back as we would have expected. Lucas quickly to Lloyd. Got him. Now Mercury can run on here. Mercury's the play. Lloyd will pop it to Mercury. Got him. Mercury at 48. Could he kick a long goal? This would really make it a game now. 124 to 102.
Well, Bruce, I've got no doubt that if it was early in the game, he'd have the power in his legs to kick from outside 50. This may test him with tired legs.
He may have to put a little hook on it to get the distance. That's the way he goes. Goes for full forward. Big fly from Martin. Free kick to North Melbourne. A bit of an anticlimax. And Blakey's got it. So the Bombers can't get that goal they need to really put the pressure on. It's a 22-point ball game.
Blakey with the football as we have another look at...
Paid against Wellman for pushing Blakey there, Robbo.
We have a tremendous advantage of the slow-mo replay, don't we, John? And it was a fairly blatant free kick in the finish. Stevens just scrounges a kick down the line, gets it another 35 metres away from the Essendon goal. They lead by 22 points, do the Kangaroos, and we've got just under 5 minutes left in this match. Alessio, just a wonderful effort by Steve Alessio. Again, Essendon well and truly on top of North Melbourne as far as entering their forward 50. 16 to 9 in this last term.
The fresh legs of Mark Roberts is now on the ground for North Melbourne. So with Fletcher off and Roberts on now, and Alessio look a bit tired, so the fresh legs could play a big part in this game.
Dennis Pagan and Kevin Sheedy, still not much they can do now. They've just got to rely on the persistence and disciplines of their players. Chandler kicks the ball in the direction of Pike. He's taken the mark. He's not quite up to half forward. He's probably about 80 metres still from his goal, but he'll put it right close to the square. At the back, Roberts. Mark Roberts has kicked a goal. No, he's not. He's missed. Behind to Mark Roberts. The margin, 23 points in favour of the Kangaroos. 4 minutes left.
Well, that would have been the one, Robbo, but it's still a big margin. And the Bombers haven't been able to get a goal for the last 6 or 7 minutes, even though they've controlled most of it. Mercury to Carosella. He's going to have to take this. McCartney after him. Carosella's got Lucas short. Blumfield long. He kicks to Blumfield. It's a good kick. And found him at centre wing. Lucas is running on hard, and so is Wellman. Kicks in the Wellman direction. Blakey, well played. Archer there. Archer started magnificently. Beautifully done by Pickett. He's an exciting player. Kicks the ball back. Plenty of North Melbourne players there. Hewitt leant back, couldn't take the mark. Handball to Bell for the throw. And the Bombers, well, they probably needed that to stay in this. Blumfield's got the free kick. There's the throw. Good decision. Kick into the centre. Calthorpe's got it. Runs away. Kicks to Lloyd. Can Lloyd turn Martin inside out? He has. Lloyd goes for goal. He's got it! There's still a chance. 8 goals between Lloyd and Lucas, both in their 50. It's been a long time since North's kicked a goal, and the Bombers are closing.
Bruce, North kicked the first 3, and Essendon have kicked the last 5 unanswered goals.
Well, that was really the last roll of the dice for Essendon across half-back. They broke. They had plenty of space to operate in when they went forward. North haven't kicked a goal since the 5-minute mark of this final term, so it's been a long time. Essendon need to win this centre bounce clearance.
Well, Matthew Lloyd, he's played a terrific game, and he's been a terrific contributor to Essendon. He's kicked 4 goals along with Scott Lucas. Alessio trying to break away. Simpson for North Melbourne. Out wide. Now the race is on. Abraham gathers the football. Can he get past Hardwick? He kicks in towards centre forward. A play on his own is Hewitt. He's within 40 metres. He goes back and delivers the coup de grace. No, not yet. Just to behind.
He really hurried back there in that occasion too, Robbo. I would have thought that he'd just go back, set himself. He had plenty of time.
The ball will have to come back because David Calthorpe was actually going in to take the kick. So if he's within 5 metres, the ball can't be kicked off until he clears that area.
They've been good in this situation too, Essendon clearing the ball from a kick in. Let's just see what they do. Players gathering at centre half forward and then breaking.
Well, 3 goals unanswered would make it a draw. Into the middle, Alessio, he's played on. Lucas, he'd nearly score a goal, won't he? Forward 50, Scott Lucas, bang, bomb, bang, missed. Well, 4 goals, 4 from Lloyd, and 4 goals, 3 from Lucas. Maybe, if you were super critical, I mean, he's a disappointed young man. but a couple of those had been converted into goals. And you never know, the margin will certainly be a lot closer than it is. It's 17 points at the moment, and we're down under 3 minutes.
King. They'll try and play keepies off here. I wonder, North, if they're capable. They'll see that the clock says 26.5 minutes. The kick to Blakey at half-back. Blakey will take his time. Probably bang it hard and long here now. He does. Playing the percentages. Bombers have got numbers. Alessio. It's been fantastic, Alessio. Little gift to Bomford.
Throw.
Oh, it's a throw. He was held up in the tackle, and the umpire was well positioned. And that's a big play for Stevens. Well done to hold up the big man. So Stevens from centre wing. He goes as hard and long as he can. Now Carey slotted himself down there. Ball belted away. Can't get a handle on it, the Bombers. Hardwick. It's a sticky little ball. Back to Roberts from Simpson. Roberts high and hard, wide. Harvey onto it, and also Heffernan, and out of play. 126 to 109. Essendon's biggest defeat this year. Again, the attendance 48,618. The most the Bombers have lost any match by this year is 4 goals, and they're inside that again tonight. And in fact, in their last 4 defeats has been by under 2. Now tonight they're a little bit outside of that, but boy, they've been a bit stiff. And tonight they've had some chances. Abraham, whose skills have been so silky. Chandler gets hold of it.
Pushed after disposal. We'll get another kick, Chandler.
Bombers hate it, but that'll probably be the ball game, won't it?
Really, no doubt in the free kick in my mind, Bruce. Disposes of the footy and then clearly pushed to the ground. No doubt at all that Joey Masiti gave away a free kick.
So Brett Chandler from the pocket. I say the Bombers stiff. I mean, North has had control of this game most of the night. They've been in the driving seat. The Bombers have been a little wasteful, but North has led at every change. They've won the first 3 quarters. They've increased their lead from 10 to 23 to 27. I think there's been a lot to admire in Essendon's fight tonight. And Chandler has hit the post. So North has kicked a lot of behinds late in this match.
They've kicked 6 points straight, Bruce.
6 consecutive points. Thank you, John and Kevin O'Neill, our statistician there. So I haven't quite been able to completely bury Essendon, but you can see the clock, not enough time. Big mark taken by Berbatov at half-back. But
you wonder sometimes why that isn't 50 metres, but the umpire not electing to penalise the North Melbourne player. Berbatov's kick, Bomford gets it back to Moorcroft. He squeezes a kick towards full forward. Lucas beaten on this occasion by McCartney, and McCartney does well and kicks a long one wide out to the wing. Heffernan, down comes Hewitt, in goes Simpson. Simpson, an important goal kicker for North Melbourne early in this last quarter, and he finds the safety of the boundary line. 18 points is the margin. A straight 3 goals. Down under a minute left, so North Melbourne will win the game. But it has been a tremendous clash between 2 great rivals in the VFL and AFL, North Melbourne and Essendon. The ball at right half forward for the Kangaroos. 2 experienced players there warming the bench for the Bombers towards the end of this match, Dustin Fletcher and Michael Long. Umpire to bounce. Carey to do the ruck work. Ball comes to the turf, and it's a pile of players with the football underneath, and the umpire will bounce once again.
it's going to be hard for the Bombers now. 3 consecutive losses after they put together 4 wins in a row. And North just steadying the ship now. Got a couple of matches coming up, Port and Richmond at the MCG, that have become absolutely must-wins. Hewitt's kick to about 40 metres. Quite a few Kangaroos up. Gee, Alessio, great game. McCurry's handball good. Calthorpe running away. But that's it. North Melbourne stop a little slump as far as they're concerned. They've lost a couple in a row, and they've bounced back strongly here. King was terrific. Outstanding game, arguably North's best tonight. And for Kevin Sheedy, who's closing in on Dick Reynolds' all-time record as the longest serving coach at Essendon, most number of games to be particular, he'll be disappointed tonight. 3-goal margin.